People are awakened to the strongest hidden class in history. But he desperately deleted the role of the Dark Sword. I only ask that the game character can be permanently deleted. This is a game that completely subverts common perceptions. In-game currency can be exchanged for real money. If a person bursts out a mythical grade equipment, she is willing to sell everything she owns to buy a nice dress. Even the ores mined in the game can be used for currency trading. Business-minded player. By analyzing market supply and demand relationships, they use this opportunity to inflate prices and make a small profit. Therefore, as soon as the last game cabin in the world arrived, Zyrone eagerly logged into the game. Character nickname is still the commonly used X. With the launch of Arcadia game, Zyrone was teleported to the beginner village. The Chinese server just opened not long ago. How is the newbie village overcrowded? Forming a team here to carry refining medicine materials. All kinds of transactions are available. The newcomer's first novice task is to defeat a slime. But performing precise operations in virtual reality games is quite difficult. Therefore, the game provides 3 basic skills for newcomers to correct players' combat. However, he is known as the god of the PC game. He immediately displayed an amazing talent for the game. Ming Ming is the worst finisher. But he used it with the feeling of Iaijutsu. Right after the second novice task, to read 100 books in the library, ordinary players quickly skimmed through to finish the quests. However, the male protagonist insisted on spending 2.5 days carefully reading each book. And this is one of his secrets to becoming the top player on the server in the end game. The NPC bookstore manager immediately laughed. This kind of person is just pretending to work hard to deceive themselves. He finished reading the 100th book today. She asked the NPC for the second volume of this book. It's because he discovered the key to reaching the top of the server in the book. However, just after this statement was made, the NPC seems to have been infiltrated by the highest authority's brain. He subconsciously took out the second volume of books from the warehouse. Karangzerong's doubt was, why is this second volume of books kept separately? The NPC controlled by the AI tapped his mouth and said, this is a special book. It can only appear if you borrow it actively. Zyrone felt a slight sense of possibility. Internal system. Inside the highest intelligent brain, Alice Josham suddenly had countless pop-up windows. Hidden quest assignment conditions in Novice Village have been met. First, designate this player as the analysis target. Originally, in the first volume of books read in Rongyue reading, this text records the treasure story of adventurer Yazir. Although she doesn't know the location of the treasure. But one thing is for sure. This treasure originates from the most ancient traces of darkness. And the second book that the male lead had just made a pact with. But it clearly marked the location of Izel's treasure. Hidden at the bottom of Lake Eileen, located in front of the novice village. The next second, the male lead was then teleported to the shore of Lake Elin. After observing for a long time, I still couldn't find any clues. At this moment, successive pop-up windows suddenly appeared in front of the male protagonist. Congratulations, Player Dex. Trigger an urgent task to find the traces of the dark. Please find the original score of the dark trace at the bottom of Lake Elin according to the literature. And verify if the contents of the document are true. Zyrone had second thoughts. She knew that currently server-wide, this was the most difficult task. It's only sea level. If you can complete the hidden mission with increased difficulty, it's not something that can be achieved overnight to become the top player in the server. He leaped into the lake. After he dived 50 meters, he couldn't see the bottom of the lake. Mingming Lake is not that big, how could it be so deep? As the number of dives increased, the character's diving skill has reached a critical level. Not only has the depth of the water he can dive into become deeper, but his stamina has also increased slightly. Kizarong has dived 200 meters so far, but even the shadow of the lake bottom has not been seen. Tired Zyrone looked at the end of the sunset. The thought of giving up arose in my heart. No one would want to waste their time here, would they? It is the early stages of the game's launch. Other players are all working hard to kill monsters and level up. But I wasted so much time improving my diving skills. The most important thing is the monthly installment of 920,000 yuan for the game cabin. Zyrone originally wanted to repay debts by selling equipment obtained from the game. But the hidden quest is designed for himself alone. Never mind. I just hope the reward for the hidden mission is rich enough. It has been 10 days. Zyrone finally pulled a necklace out of the bottom of the lake. Is this the mysterious item that Izel hid at the bottom of Allen Lake? At the same time, a pop-up window prompted that the diving skill had been upgraded to level A, physical strength increased by 1 point, and water attribute mastery increased by 10 points. Congratulations, host, you have completed the hidden mission. Receive the Shadowlight Necklace reward. This prop contains the unknown traces of ancient darkness. Be extremely careful when using money. Zyrone gave a wry smile. The prop instructions read like a threat. A pop-up window asks if you want to use the Ingguang necklace. Zirong decisively clicked OK. The same pop-up window asking the same question again. Zirong clicked confirm again. Are you sure you want to use it? Zirong's finger is numb from pressing the OK button. The pop-up window kept persuading. The system keeps asking me to confirm even though I've already decided. The pop-up window prompts again. I know you are frantically clicking OK now. Since I have already asked this much, I can be sure that you really want to use this item. I hope you won't regret it. Later, try your best to cause trouble, just like me now. Buluin's ambiguous words made Zirong's heart tremble. Who exactly is talking to me? The next second, a giant pop-up appeared. Congratulations on changing your job to the hidden job Wanderer of Troubled Times. Your ranking system is clear and you are confident in acquiring new techniques. New tasks have been updated. Seeing the task again, Zirong's heart had already cooled halfway. Someone's newbie mission is to kill 100 slimes. My newbie mission is to consecutively kill new players for 7 days. Zirong cursed. He frantically pressed the character deletion key. The pop-up, however, showed, game characters and hidden classes are permanently bound. Character deletion failed. Zirong's reason for wanting to delete the character is very simple. Because of the hidden occupation of Wanderer of Troubled Times. No level system. It also comes with such a bizarre task. Every game's foundation is its class system. Losing the ranking system means being deprived of growth. Although the server has just opened, it doesn't have much impact on the battles. But as time goes by, I will be infinitely behind other players. He began to regret it. When that asshole was talking nonsense just now. I should stop. Zirong leaned back and lay down, looking at the simulated sky in the game, lost in thought. Forget it. Waiting around won't solve the problem. It's at least a hidden profession. There must be other uses. After this, Zirong searched the status board for a long time. But it only found one difference from others. That means it has an additional credibility score. But what exactly is the use of this thing? After the idea gets through, a pop-up window prompts, credibility is a consumable. The more points consumed, the more the host interferes with this world, the stronger the ability becomes, even to the point of distorting the world's laws. The leader drew his sword, ready to strike. However, someone was faster than him. It's a pity. He could have finished it with one move. 3 red-named players walked in front of the newcomer. They smiled and concealed their swords in their smiles. Hello, newcomers. I'm the owner of this hunting ground. You're hunting on my territory without permission. Zirong was confused after hearing that. The game had just launched. Is there already someone occupying land in the newbie village? Random red-name players threatened. Judging by your accent, you must be S-style people. And just now we were chatting about taking a mock exam. Probably still a student. Just check your usernames. You'll be able to find out where you live very soon. So don't want to be killed, get out of the spawn point. Students immediately asked surrounding players for help. But what I got in return was a look of indifference. The student tried to explain. It's just a game, is it necessary to go this far? The hooligans were stunned for a second, then burst into laughter. You're right, games are so much fun. There are no legal constraints yet. Isn't the world just a place where the strong rule? Only a brushing sound was heard. The thug's calf suddenly separated from his body. Only because Zirong suddenly became enlightened. Although you are a gangster, I think what you said is right. Zirong precisely released a series of killing techniques. Lingling's smooth operation seemed to have a touch of human-computer integration. 3 level 12 Hongling players died instantly, and were forcibly ejected from the game by the system. And this is the moment when the male lead makes his move. His ID never had any filter in the beginner village. The window prompt says, "Congratulations, you have earned 3 points of credibility." He guessed right. 1 head can provide a bit of credibility. Although I don't know how to use it, it's really not easy to collect it. At this moment, a student nearby seemed to be holding on to a lifeline. Thank you for saving us. I really don't know how to repay you. Zirong's eyes were calm and indifferent. There's nothing to thank me for. After all, I still need to take you down. Classmate, don't be too sad. Like you said, this is just a game. The next second, 2 student players were killed by Zirong with 1 arrow. The credibility score has increased by 2 points. Zirong glanced back. His lips curved into a slight smile. Very good. Now it's your turn to watch from the sidelines. You shouldn't have any complaints. After a dozen screams, the entire forest fell silent. From that day on, a rumor spread on Arcadia's official website. A real man appeared in the new player village of the national server. And night. This is the prime time for new hunters to go to the forest to hunt slimes. But Zirong is also the fastest place for new velvet hunters. To make the holographic game closer to reality. The character's visibility is very limited at night, and the character runs away. He tripped over a stone. Will also trigger a speed reduction status. And this newbie player is no longer a hunter at this moment, but the prey hunted by Zirong. Hidden dangers are often the deadliest. New people have seen Zirong in a few days. It is not that I am afraid. At this moment, the roles of hunter and prey are no longer fixed. The fear of being hunted permeates the entire forest. Even a newbie couldn't figure out why this black-robed player was targeting him. The only response he received was a swift, gray sword. You do this at the beginning of the game's launch. I don't believe the game company won't do anything. I will definitely report you to the official website. Zirong suddenly stopped the huge sword that was about to come out. Hee you guy. The next second, Zirong said. Don't you see who instigated this? You Mao players instantly choked up. Before he could think, the character has already been separated and forced into danger by the system. Congratulations on defeating the novice, you have gained 1 point of credibility. Zirong stared coldly at the accumulating credibility points. Turned around and yawned because of hunting day and night as a newbie. This is quite mentally exhausting. Arcadia Games' death penalty is a 24-hour login restriction. But at this moment, the official overcoming department of Arcadia's game. Hundreds of Khufu's phone calls have not stopped since morning. And all the players complained about the same person. Team leader announced with a darkened face that everyone would work overtime today to appease the players. At this time, Zirong in the game had been hunting for 2 days and 2 nights. Up to now, my credibility has reached 1025. Is it really okay for a hunting novice like this? And it's the official who gave me this task. Although there are still 4 days left for the task, isn't there really a problem with their game operations? It's fine, anyway, it has nothing to do with me. It was a humming sound coming from the forest. The slimes came in groups towards Zirong. The next second, the system prompted, you saved the slime in crisis. Your intimacy with the slime race has increased. The next moment, Zirong's face was full of surprise, overwhelmed by the affectionate slime squad. Zirong, however, was enjoying himself. I am no longer welcome, but it's not bad to have a good relationship with you guys. However, several torches suddenly appeared in the darkness of the jungle. Zirong heard some of the players' words. He gently touched Slime's forehead and persuaded. Little guys, you should run away first. So it was Lu Mao, who was hunted yesterday, came back with a photographer. He patrolled the forest all night and finally saw the familiar figure. Brothers, charge. It's this black-robed man. To buy time for Slime to escape, Zijiun kept running in the opposite direction, until he saw a glimmer of hope ahead. He resolutely fell backwards towards the cliff. Thus, under the horrified gaze of the 5 people, she chose to jump off the cliff. This man seems to be really crazy. The little velvet who jumped off the cliff. A strange and sinister smile suddenly appeared on his lips. The next moment, he clicked the logout button and went offline. The next morning, videos about the man went viral on major video websites. Netizens have actively discussed this. Keeman is naturally indispensable in public opinion. And since Lu Mao was hunted by the male protagonist, she started paying attention to the official website, and found that there were over 700 reports like this. Therefore, he decided to organize a counter-hunting operation. If any players have ideas, please wait in my channel. The post was only up for a few minutes. The square in the newbie village is filled with people. A dozen players who have grudges against the male protagonist. Lu Mao announced from now on. We will launch a campaign to punish the disruptors. The action has just been initiated. However, it triggered the whole village quest in the newbie village. All players in the novice village. The same task pop-up appeared. The biggest charm of this Arcadia holographic game is, can generate plots based on user behavior. It's not just in-game messages, it also captures online public opinion stories. Realized in the game. And all credit should go to the game's AI mastermind, Alice. Main story quest, Sprouting Case of Oblivion. Related quest activated. Task notification. Please all players in the newbie village, capture the unknown newbie serial killer demon. After sleeping for 12 hours, Zirong finally woke up. The result is just opening the Arcadia website. Immediately, an indescribable helplessness appeared on her face. Official special event. Please seize Tajayamo. Surprisingly, there are over 2,000 comments below. Did I make 2,000 enemies after waking up? Do I really have to give up the mission of hunting newbies? He glanced at the gaming pod he had bought on a high-interest installment plan. The monthly installment is 920,000. How am I going to pay it back? Therefore, Zirong logged into the game. He sighed, looking at the slime habitat in the forest. This is the most suitable place for hunting newcomers. It was a scarred slime that walked towards him. It seems like some adventurers are chasing us. I told you not to choose the mage class. Chasing a low-health slime is even a struggle. Then, the two newcomers found the slime. But he found another player standing next to him. The soldier dissuaded him. "Uncle, this is our prey. Snatching monsters is immoral." Zirong glanced at the slime, looking at his pitiful eyes. His eyes instantly flashed with coldness. He put on his hood and walked towards the two of them. "Do you want to fight us, uncle?" The monk felt a sense of familiarity. This guy's style was so familiar. Seeing the male lead not stopping, the soldiers immediately stepped forward and shoved the male lead. My person is gone. The Tujimo of the official website is right in front of me. In the next instant, thousands of eyes looked towards the source of the sound. The desire for rewards for activity was fully utilized. Homing warrior was about to quibble. Zirong has already escaped with the slime. The new mage's mind finally cleared. I said, "How come this man in black robes looks so familiar? He is the new player Tujimo on Guangwang." He realized it was too late, but the entire edge of the cliff suddenly collapsed due to the dispute. Burst into dazzling. Wow, the other side. Zirong fled into the depths of the forest with the slime. "You are safe now, little one. Your wound should heal automatically, right? As a result, this is a pop-up message. Congratulations on saving the slime. You have reached the maximum slime race cleanup level. You have earned the title Friend of Slime." As expected. After all, Zirong killed over 1,000 novice players in the slime habitat. Just when Zirong was wondering, what was the use of obtaining the first level slime race's cleaning power? The pop-up window prompted again. Trustworthiness has reached the lowest value. You have established a cooperative relationship with the slime. You can consume trustworthiness to help the slime race. What does mean? He stared at the slime's information window and pondered for a moment, looking at his own trustworthiness value of 1,025 points again. A wicked thought suddenly sprouted in his mind. This game is really crazy. The so-called credibility can actually be used like this. The next second, Zirong clicked confirm. Use all 1,025 credibility points, using the character Hidden Wanderer of the Chaotic World as a medium. Then, he injected all the credibility into the slime's body at once. The next instant, the golden light soaring into the sky illuminated the entire forest. Cold window tips. The basic abilities of the entire slime race have already been changed. All slimes in Novice Village have their level raised to 15. The novice injected 1,000 attribute points into the slime's body. However, he transformed all the level 1 beginner monsters into level 15. Only one man awakened the strongest hidden profession in the history of gaming. Just keep killing newbies. He will be able to get a steady stream of credibility points. Finally, use this value to change the game's original settings. And within 2 days, he hunted down over 1,000 newbies. He, however, condensed all 1,025 points of credibility. Finally, he enhanced more than 1,000 slimes to work for him, only waiting for the credibility points to accumulate to 10,000. However, a level 1 novice has 100 HP. Level 15 slimes, however, have 150 attack power. The wish to log into the game for the first time. He always wanted to tease her in the past. After all, slimes are the best targets for beginners to practice their swordsmanship. Who could have known that the unassuming slime was actually insane? Level 1 newbie was just touched by a slime. Immediately received a lunchbox. He also received a 24-hour login restriction penalty. The entire newbie village was in chaos. The hunter and the hunted switch roles permanently. The besieged is no longer slime but newbie players. But this is the scene the male lead wants to see the most. Because only the slime he strengthens can kill a new player. His credibility has improved a bit. And because of enhanced credibility. Originally, slimes only attacked players after being injured. At this moment, she actively started hunting newcomers. And slime's attack characteristics will change due to being strengthened. Thus, Zirong began to ponder. So, credibility, as the name suggests, is the numerical value that overturns the possibility of the game? Perhaps this ability is more complicated than he imagined. Thinking about it, isn't this what I enjoy doing in the game? In just 2 hours, the slimes he enhanced killed more than 3,000 newcomers. At the same time, the credibility of over 3,000 points is involved. This efficiency is fully 4 times that of Zirong's previous one. It seems the task of eliminating newbies is to tell me to constantly strengthen slime, then gain credibility from them? But when Zirong wanted to use credibility to strengthen the slime again, the system suddenly prompted that the enhancement failed. Forget it, the current efficiency is quite high. So little guys, the task of moving bricks for me is given to you. At the same time, Arcadia's plot planning team finally exploded. However, the team leader firmly believed that the situation in Arcadia was definitely not a systematic error. After all, this is an event calculated by modern cutting-edge technology. Everything is going according to plan. Therefore, He decided to log in himself to confirm. Level 3 authorization confirmed. Full name with special duty identity authentication successful. Permission granted to enter. And the team leader did not enter the Arcadia game incident, but to inquire about the game's AI brain center, Alice. Another child landed in the game. I'm going to check my gains online. The result was that the slime forest was empty. Pop-up message. Total number of newbies hunted, 9640. Zerome was clearly dissatisfied with the result. It is probably because everyone online is saying that the newbie village is very dangerous. It even attracted adventurers of level 15 and above to the newbie village to hunt slimes. In short, the bonus is gone. Although the numerical growth has slowed down, it has not completely stopped. Until the hunting number for Zerong reached exactly 10,000. Hanchuang notification. Congratulations on eliminating 10,000 newbies. You have earned the title, Newbie Slaughterer. Congratulations on exceeding the reward range of the set task. Pre-settlement midterm reward box. Such good news. Quickly open it and see what's in the treasure chest. As Zerong clicked to claim the treasure chest, low-level dark power suddenly jumped out of the treasure chest. An overwhelming sense of terror struck him. With the appearance of a black spot, the surrounding space began to crack and collapse. Is the reward this black ball? A crack appeared in the center of the black ball. The next instant, the crack tore the black sphere apart. Destructive power spread in all directions. The pop-up window prompts that the midterm reward has been settled. Congratulations on obtaining the mode. A demonic phantom emerged from the crack. Its innate killing intent instilled primal fear. His low, hoarse voice couldn't hide the evil in his eyes and the question on his lips. Who are you, daring to summon me? Zerong's whole body's cells became joyful. Such pressure, what on earth have I summoned? What the hell? How did I end up like this? Such shortness is an insult to this demon lord. What Satan didn't know was that this summoning would change his fate. Zerong was also confused. I just opened a game treasure chest. I'll just get you out. Moreover, the game says you are the summoned magician. Satan was dumbfounded. My dignified demon lord has actually been contracted by the underworld as a mere sorcerer. This man actually threw me here without consulting me. I still have a lot of things to handle with the magic sword. Zerong looked at the frantic demon in front of her. Is this guy really the devil Satan? Satan muttered. It's almost over, and this kind of thing is still happening. It's speechless. Human, listen carefully, no matter what. I am now bound by contract to be commanded by you. I will be with you for a while. Since I'm here, I'll stay. Please take care of me from now on. At this moment, Satan suddenly sensed Zerong's ability. He immediately looked at him with great interest. You have such an ability. Zerong also. A pop-up window appears, saying, you can consume your credibility to unleash the power of the magic user, but be careful not to be deceived or tempted by demons. Satan began negotiating with Zerong. You have the power to overturn the law. If you are willing to give it to me, I can satisfy all your needs. Zerong suddenly thought of credibility. Could it be that this guy is very eager for this value? And his saying that the rules can be overturned, its credibility actually has such a wonderful use. But it cannot go any further. Even Demon King level figures covet the numerical value. Credibility seems to be a special factor. If I give you credibility, what can you do for me? Satan simply waved his hand. A magic circle composed of ancient patterns unfolded. The next second, a purple-black cloak appeared out of thin air. Pop-up notification. Level 150 equipment Nalgar's Sai can protect the user from a fatal blow. Crazy. Really crazy. The Chinese server opened later than other servers. You should know that the global level ranking first is only level 50. And I don't have a level system because of my transfer value. Maybe I can't even assemble this thing anymore. Kasadan ke li jieching luguaren jidian dongshi manzu bi liao and I. Satan understood it as, sure enough, this little thing can't satisfy you. After all, you are the human who made a contract with the Demon King. At this moment, Zerong had a flash of inspiration. Although she didn't need equipment, she currently had another problem. Can you help me strengthen the monster? Satan was very confused. I am already the Demon King, what else do you need to strengthen? Slime, can you help me strengthen the slime? That's so degrading, you human. The mysterious demon laughed maniacally. He was truly a madman in a tavern. This works dictionary doesn't include the 3 words. Cannot be done. So how much credibility are you going to give me? Dishonest businessman Zerong, slanting shoulder, producing results. I want to shrink all of them. That's pretty cool. Since that is the case, the contract is established. Only a much more complex ancient dark magic formation, 10 times more intricate than the previous one, unfolded beneath Zerong's feet. Pop-up prompt task kill the newbie updated to task Slime's Fury. Task time reset to 7 days. Only the destructive thunder from the sky descended upon the slime forest. Slime reinforcement successful. The Slime Queen, a Spirit Lord level monster, has been summoned. Keep in mind that this level 100 boss's adjacent location is still just in Arcadia's novice village. This is the game treasure chest dropped by killing 10,000 novice players. After the male lead opens it, by a twist of fate, he summoned the demon king Satan. Thus, the male protagonist shrunk all the reliable scriptures. The Slime Queen was thus born. At the same time, all players in the newbie village simultaneously received a pop-up window. Slimes are the most peace-loving race, yet they inexplicably incur the wrath of players. After countless times of enduring them, they finally broke out. Some players just had their 24-hour death penalty lifted. Went online, but was sent home. The male lead looked at the Slime Queen born from him, suddenly confused. Xiaodan, what have you done? Zyrong kept silent and thought to himself. It's just the credibility of this point. This will make an unremarkable race evolve to this extent. This seems to be the true strength of credibility. And the entire novice village, because of the Slime Queen's appearance. Everyone was forced to fight a desperate battle against the Slime Tide. This is the same task received by all novice village players. The main quest, Awakening a Forgotten Case, is activated. The related quest, Slime's Rage, is also activated. The winning condition is to protect the newbie village and defeat the Slime Queen. Time, 7 days. If the novice village's guardian stone is destroyed, the mission is considered a failure. Then the newbie village will be permanently destroyed. Eagerly awaiting the server's first level 100 Lord report. Newbies are bound to be terrified. Looking at the chaotic novice village, the male lead, Zyrong, decided to wait and see. Satan reminded, Master, just quietly go and destroy the guardian stone. Then wouldn't everything just be over? Zyrong's response was indeed to wait and see. Satan started to imagine. Could it be that you want to break the crystal at the last second of the countdown? This guy is almost half as evil as me. Actually, no. Because ever since Slime Queen appeared, Zyrong's system pop-ups haven't stopped. Congratulations to Ming for killing a newbie. He gained 1 confidence point. In just a few minutes, he had already accumulated a lot of confidence. However, Zyrong should also make a decision. So between players and monsters, which side should one stand on to get more benefits? At this time, the official's internal personnel. He was sitting in the meeting room watching this battle. And the Slime Queen of level 100. Her skills include the Monarch's Roar and a jump she has never shown, but her traits. But continuously creates teammates that disgust players. The minister was immediately furious. The server should be taken down immediately. And the level 100 monsters. How is it possible to appear in the newbie village? Even the chief designer said she had never even designed this monster. We must protest to the head office. Their policy of indifference is an abuse of power. The minister fell into deep thought. The main storyline was suddenly triggered. Then came the inexplicable Tsuzaimo, the slime's last fury. It has become a crucial battle for the survival of the newbie village. Could this really not be the case? But it was triggered by the action of a player? After all, Arcania. It is a game of infinite possibilities. One sentence instantly made all the group leaders fall into deep thought. Judging from the discussion on generating logs, the task trigger is very reasonable. So the minister decided. No matter what the penalty for this task is, perhaps it is also the result of Alice's rational calculation. However, on the battlefield against the slimes, some players accidentally protected an NPC guard. This triggered the hidden job transfer quest for Guardian. It seems like the slime is angry, bringing not only fear. There is still much hidden wealth. And achieve the conditions for job change awakening. This made the Slime Queen stop rampaging. The battle lasted for 3 days and 3 nights. The task, which is limited to 7 days, is now halfway through. Some new players are abused by slimes to the point of quitting the game. There are also masters in the Bofa clan. The high-level players, hearing the rumors, all participated in the raid. High-level players established a special task force. When a character hunts over 10,000 slimes, he will be crowned with the most dazzling green title, Slime Abuser. Deals 40% extra damage to slime and has a 30% chance to deal additional damage. As players successively obtained titles, the slimes began to fall into a disadvantage. New players saw hope. He logged back in and joined the battlefield. Players finally saw a glimmer of hope in the darkness. However, the male protagonist was hiding in the dark and watching from the sidelines. At this moment, it has accumulated to a terrifying level of believability. The pop-up window shows that Ningyi has eliminated a total of 32,576 novice players. There is still 1.5 days left for the task. Even Satan couldn't help but praise. To have eliminated 30,000 people, that truly was a great battle. Not bad, not bad. Such an evil human player. Only those who are qualified can become the Demon King's contractor. He glanced at the remaining 20,000 points and felt confident. The male protagonist fell into deep thought. How can I maximize my profits next? Satan is right. If we continue to stand by and do nothing, the human players will probably win. After a moment's thought, he smirked. Then it would be boring. Therefore, Zirong put on his cloak again to disguise himself. Satan noticed the blood on the cloak. What kind of person was this guy before? Ran-air Zirong, however, muttered to himself, in any case, if I have to choose a side, the next time I will not be a bystander. I will stand on the slime's side. He had already planned everything in his mind. Only in this way could I maximize my benefits. At the same time, the minister arrived at the headquarters of Arcadia Games. Please stop the attack mission. President Li Meiyan, I'm counting on you. It's obvious that CEO Li Meiyan didn't agree. The slime siege in the beginner village is nearing its end. There is no trace of a slime in the village, with only 10 minutes left until the end of the assault. After all, they couldn't break through the defense line formed by the top players in the Chinese server for a whole week. In the last 10 minutes, there was no miracle to happen, and in 10 more minutes, I will be able to change my job to the Hidden Guardian class. However, right before the decisive battle, exactly at 10 o'clock, the sky above the newbie village was instantly stained crimson. Bloody sky is an ominous sign. However, the male lead, Rome, made his grand entrance in a black robe at this moment. So, Slime Queen, let's start together. So how do you make velvet yarn? This will maximize his credibility points. It is the game crystal that countless people have sacrificed their lives to protect. But it was quietly broken by the male lead after he sneaked in. When the novice village was brutally invaded by slimes, the male lead chose to close the case and extinguish the fire. Begin calculating how to maximize profits. This is because his mission is completely different from ordinary players. Others are tasked with guarding the newbie village and slaying slimes. His mission, however, is to destroy the Guardian Crystal. Kill new player. Only in this way can he obtain considerable and credible numerical values. However, with only 10 minutes left on the mission countdown timer, players saw that this defense battle was about to usher in victory. The sky above the newbie village was suddenly engulfed in a bloody blaze. The male protagonist, Zirong, now enters the scene wearing a black robe. So, Slime Queen, let's start together. And in the previous 7 days, Zirong relies on slime to launch the attack. He gained 10,000 points of trust while lying down. But these clearly couldn't satisfy his ambition. So he blocked the last one, pressing down on the level 100 Lord Boss Slime Queen, attempting to complete the final harvest. The next 10 minutes, all newbies can only live in extreme fear. Wherever Slime Queen Lu passes by, there are many new players who are born and die. He would occasionally split some slime soldiers, participating in ganking new players. That fear of death finally erupted in the novice's heart. There were also warriors who tried to awaken everyone's fighting spirit. The result was only half said. He was literally slapped to death by the Slime Queen. But the Slime Queen is not entirely invincible. The strongest adventurer in the national server opens all Manahan. Everyone, just hold on for another 5 minutes and the battle will be over. The newcomers seem to find it somewhat reasonable. Because as long as you draw the Slime Queen's hatred, don't let her destroy the Guardian Crystal. This battle will usher in the final victory. Encouraged by the best player in the national server, new players start shouting. Even if we have to sacrifice our lives, we must live up to the efforts we have put in over the past 7 days. Next, the newcomers, all of Chinese descent, attempted to use a human wave tactic. Block Slime Queen's advance. The number of players killed was countless. Until the assault mission had only 10 seconds left. Slime Queen was also unable to reach the destruction range of the Guardian Crystal. Under the eyes, the fish are affected. Thousands of players were slapped away by the Queen. However, there are only 7 seconds left in the final battle. The top player in the national server has decided to make a move. She used up all her mana, infused all the harm into the giant sword in his hand. Then he jumped towards the Slime Queen's head. But in the next second, the Queen casually opened the shield, sent her flying. But there are only 3 seconds left on the countdown. Guifu's number 1 ditching laughed. We are the final victors. The novice village cannot be permanently destroyed. The top server player in China, heavily wounded and with low health, fell next to the crystal base. Last second. There is absolutely no chance of a miracle happening. Wu Yao, Half a second later, the guardian crystal suddenly cracked. She quickly turned her head and looked around. She would never forget the sight of a player in a black robe plunging his sword into the crystal. The male lead Zyrong, however, explained with a swish of his sword. "I'm sorry, I was guarding the flower. The server is now announcing, the village's guardian stone has been destroyed. Guardian mission failed. The novice village will be permanently destroyed." Guofu's number 1 player, Dun, felt her face turn pale. She couldn't imagine this would be the ending. Zirong pulled out the giant's sword, completed the task, and exclaimed, "Fortunately, I didn't waste any opportunity to earn trust points." Other players felt it was too late. The black-robed player stood on the broken crystal platform. It seemed he was basking in the glow of his own achievement. As expected, the fluffy blanket was greeted with a barrage of trash talk. But he gave a contemptuous smile. "We still have the mood to say these words. The pop-up message prompts that novice village has been permanently destroyed." Then Slime Queen's body turned into a purple-black sphere of light and exploded in the sky. Countless years, leaves scattered in every corner of novice village. The fallen green leaves drifted slowly towards the sky, gradually converging into one spherical object after another. These years, Yigai wasn't about to condense into a slime. You know that monsters can't be spawned in the newbie village. 3 thick bolts of lightning, as thick as pythons, struck the newbie village. The moment Nianyi blooms, 3 level 80 giant slimes were refreshed on the spot. The letter window prompted that the slimes, once despised by players, in the brutal struggle against humanity, she won the final victory. Successfully expel all humans. The next second, the level 80 slimes roared. But the slime generation is not finished yet. Because they finally had their own king, the level 100 Lord Boss, Slime Queen, has been generated. Even Zyrong couldn't help but praise it for being too cool. Right now, the newbie village is no longer a human territory. It has completely transformed into a slime territory. At the same time, all players are notified. You have entered the level 80 hunting ground. Please be careful. The result was that these level 1 to 15 players hadn't even left the territory yet. They were surrounded by level 80 slime soldiers and awaited their execution. Seeing this, Zyrong smiled evilly. "I warned you all not to trash talk. After all, escaping is the most important thing." After finishing, Zyrong prepared to go offline to make up for teaching. However, he could hear the slime behind him humming. Slime Queen first embraced her benefactor. Zyrong felt like he had bumped into a very soft marshmallow. Slime after slime engulfed Zyrong. They expressed their gratitude unreservedly. Slime Queen led all her people to prostrate themselves before Zyrong. They expressed their heartfelt gratitude to Zyrong with the highest courtesy. A pop-up notification appeared, awarded the title Slime Savior. Crown of the Slime that won the reward. Zyrong was confused. What is the use of this crown? The next second, a pop-up explained his survival. Congratulations on earning 2,413 credibility points. Zyrong, who wore the crown, also received a reward of plus 10 water attribute power, plus 5 intelligence, and plus 5 physical resistance. But before logging off, he hid these achievement titles. If someone saw this, wouldn't he become the most skilled player on the entire server? After bidding farewell to the Slime Queen, Zyrong decided to take the Demon King Sadan, go to the next destination. Then he will be bled dry, but his faith will remain. Arcadia Novice Village was destroyed and made it into esports news the next day. This immediately sparked a barrage of complaints from countless players. The saddest one is the player who triggered the Guardian's job change quest. Kazirong Chuejuziji de Xingwei Shurfenheli. I'm just acting according to the game's guidance. After all, my profession is a wanderer in troubled times. I exist to disrupt the balance of the game. The creature who made a pact with the earth is also the demon Lord Satan. The bigger the waves I create, the more credibility points I get. The incident of the newbie village being destroyed is becoming more and more serious. Some users quickly found alternative locations to the newbie village. An area called the Baron Michael Domain. Word of mouth spread quickly, causing all new players to gather here for development. When Zyrong arrived at the Baron's territory, she discovered the NPC trading area here is very prosperous. There are many NPC craftsmen. Even the ore supply can't meet the demand. Seeing the business opportunity, immediately find the NPC blacksmith. And he took on a tedious mining task. Satan didn't understand why you would take on a task that even a cat or a dog could handle. The result, however, prompted Zyrong to look around. This city is due to the influx of new players. There are too many blacksmiths. To quickly gain experience, everyone became a blacksmith apprentice. This leads to no newcomers willing to do this thankless mining task. If there is a shortage of ore, Xiao Dan, guess what will happen in a week? Let's go, Xiao Dan, I'll take you to make some money. I can also pay off the installment loan for my gaming pod and even make a hefty profit from it. A rack of 10 copper coins worth of iron ore. This is the beginning of the male protagonist's rise to wealth in the virtual game. Because the ore was mined in a virtual game, transactions can be completed using copper coins. A virtual gold coin in the game is equal to 50,000 renminbi. Arcadia's economic structure is very similar to that of the real world. It is simply production, consumption, supply, demand, and the circulation of goods. Even the resources and specialties of each town in the game are different. The market price of goods also changes constantly with time. Most desirable in Arcadia. It is just an unassuming iron ore. Its price is astronomical. A double increase rate. This caused the loss of countless blacksmiths' forging skills. And it all began with the male lead-in. After the beginner village was destroyed, tens of thousands of low-level novice players were forced to enter the Nihal territory. For a time, the entire game industry thrived because of their arrival. A town that originally only had an NPC blacksmith. Blacksmith apprentices are all reincarnated newbie players. They all have the determination to become master craftsmen. Yet she sets up a stall selling crudely made weapons. All he relies on is a mouth that likes false propaganda. However, it is in this environment. Originally sold for 10 copper coins, the iron ore. Now it is being sold for 20 copper coins each. Some players also said why not go mining and sell it. Immediately ridiculed by the half-baked blacksmith. Let's not even mention that the journey back from the mine takes 2 hours. The iron ore mining rate is so low it makes you question your existence. In short, it's better to let others mine. Repair equipment yourself. Can both improve and master skills and gain a lot of experience. Mining yourself is a low cost-effective behavior. So no player is willing to take the mining quest because its only reward is to increase favorability with the blacksmith. Kunanzuzi, however, sensed a huge business opportunity. He simply overheard the conversation between the blacksmith NPCs on the roadside. Recently, the Lord has issued a requirement for the amount of mining. Even if we work day and night, we won't be able to reach the target, will we? Hearing the word, Lord, Jian Shangzi Rong's brain immediately began to spin rapidly. Unexpectedly, this town still has such economic troubles. Maybe I can make a fortune from this. Every time Zirong reveals a wicked smile, Satan knows he is about to backfire. Zirong walked to the 2 blacksmiths with a faint smile. Maybe I can help you two solve this problem. At this moment, in Baron Michael's mansion, Baron sat at his desk, racking his brains but couldn't figure it out. The price of iron ore will surge to 15 barrels of ink overnight. This way, the town's blacksmiths would lose more than half of their profits. There might even be cases of forging at a loss. But what will circulate in the future market is no longer high-quality equipment. Instead, it is a low-grade weapon crudely made by a blacksmith apprentice. Perhaps some countermeasures must be taken. However, the blacksmith heard that Zirong was willing to take on the mining task. He was immediately assigned a quota of 20 iron ore chains. Long Zirong hastened to the Bayanshan mine. But she walked with the Demon King Satan to the deepest and most hidden part of the mine. Satan asked his master with a face full of doubt. Master, is this really okay? And surprisingly spent 8,000 with confidence. Let me do such meaningless things. Urged by Zirong's impatience. Pop-up notification shows that the weapon exchange is successful. The destructor of the equipment cavern. His special skill is to speed up mining and greatly increase the collection rate. There is a probability of mining rare ores. The moment he became the male lead, his desire to become rich was overtaken by his comprehensive plans. The destructive power of the abyssal demons is astonishing. Their efficiency is extremely high. The pop-up window for obtaining ore suddenly flooded the entire mine. Less than 3 hours. Zirong's mining skill has reached its peak. It not only increases the character's physical strength by 10 points, but also doubles the mining speed and success rate. The key is that it can perceive hidden minerals. After 2.5 days of mining, Zirong finally mined more than 1,000 iron ores, over 100 silver mines, 10 gold mines, and a small number of rare ores. However, possessing these ores was only the second step in Zirong's path to wealth, because the most crucial third step. Indeed, Baron Michael is currently worried about the mining rate. If the Lord cannot supply enough iron, the blacksmith's workshop may be facing closure at any time. Other continental merchant groups may no longer cooperate with us due to the poor quality of weapons. In the eyes of various leaders, the origin of all this is the large number of newcomers changing their profession to blacksmith. After all, the number of blacksmith apprentices has increased, but the number of miners has not changed. This is the core problem in towns. The Baron was troubled about what to do next. Bing Jing rushed into the conference room in a hurry to report. Baron was also confused about why it was so bustling outside. Originally at the main entrance at the bottom of Baron's mansion, Thousands of ores piled up into a small hill. Iron ore, gold ore, silver ore, and even rare magic gold ore. Zhairong deliberately sold all these ores to the Baron's mansion. After 3 days of mining, he earned a total of 3 gold coins and 10 silver coins. The equivalent is a total of 500,000 renminbi. If you mine non-stop, it's about 5 million renminbi a month. Such efficiency is not enough to satisfy Zhairong's ambition. After all, the gaming pod he bought in installments was worth 10 million yuan. This would take at least 2 months of mining to pay it back. And want to use a quick way to get rich. Still need to prepare some things. Result next second. The NPC Baron approached Zai on his own initiative. Either of them had spoken. Zhairong then gained the Baron's favor. Zhairong buried her head and chuckled. It seemed that the Baron had finally taken the bait. Hello, esteemed Baron. May I ask what brings you here? Baron introduced himself. My name is Mihar, and I am the lord of this town. If you have time, how about having a cup of tea with me? A pop-up window prompts whether to accept the Baron's invitation. Next is the negotiation time with Baron NPC. Truly taken aback. The Baron quickly gave Zhairong an overview. The current economic problem of iron or miners' shortage in urban areas. Zhairong knew it all, but she still listened carefully to the NPC Baron's story. Because waiting for him to finish will definitely trigger some kind of task. I was surprised when the pop-up window appeared. Zhairong is waiting for this. The Taskmaster's Dilemma. Please help the Taskmaster increase the number of miners and improve the mining output. Zhairong decisively clicked to accept the task. Then he patted his chest and said sincerely, Baron, I have come to address the town's or supply issue. But I need to do some preparations first. If things go well, it might take effect tomorrow. After completing these 4 steps, Zhairong has basically achieved a large portion of his goal to become rich. But what Zhairong will do next is the most important thing. From a realistic perspective, the Lord's troubles are almost impossible to solve. But Arcadia is ultimately a game. Players would absolutely refuse to do mining work that only involves manual labor and earns no money. The first thing to do is change the player's perception. Therefore, Zhairong opened a daily video account called The Destroyer. I'll post this video. I bet some players will take the bait. So, can you guys guess what Zhairong will do next? Someone gave the NPC a project plan. However, he got 10% of the annual profit from the game mine. The plan only proposed 4 solutions. It not only provided the Lord with a large number of free miners. Haiqing increased its mineral extraction. It was simply mining work, which was hard labor and didn't earn money. No new people are willing to do it. This resulted in a shortage of iron ore workers in the whole town. So the male lead sensed a business opportunity. But she racked her brains and came up with 4 solutions. He just needs someone to take the bait, and he can lie down and make a fortune. First, we need to change the player's perception of mining. So he opened a daily video account called Demolisher. As expected, the first video on the account went viral in the gaming section. This is just a short sentence. You can actually make money through Arcadia. And the first scene of the video opens. This is the Bishanshan mine. No new player is unfamiliar with this location. Immediately after, Zhairong revealed the earnings of Santang Jingdao for 3 days. More than 10 gold coins made the audience eager to see. Note that 10 gold coins in the game are worth 500,000 Chinese yuan. Newcomers, listen up. At the beginning, your mining skill is level F. It only takes 1 hour to pick 20 iron peaches, which is equal to 400 copper coins. So we need to improve our mining skills first. This will not only improve efficiency. There is still a chance to dig up rare minerals. Now that I have an A-level mining license, I drop a rare ore every day. Rare ores appear. Immediately hook the souls of novice players. Let's skip the boring mining part. Finally, sell the ore to the NPC merchant. Then today's income is 1 gold coin and 82 silver coins, which is 130,000. The male lead's few short words immediately ignited the desires within people's hearts. Even the classmate who was just getting ready for gasoline. At this moment, it feels like a magic formation anxiously waiting to go online. The internet immediately exploded with discussion because of this. Actually, the video shows the mining efficiency. This is because Zhairong obtained cheating equipment from Satan, which made this possible. He concealed these facts in his clever editing. It seems so easy to make money. That afternoon, all the iron islands in the town. They were all snapped up by new players. Everyone put on their clothes and equipment, and rushed towards the mine. The Baron laughed so hard his mouth wouldn't close. The player, who had been as stubborn as a mule, so eager to go to the mine. So, Dex, what method did you use? Zhairong is not worth mentioning. I just ignited their primal desires. After all, adventurers are all minions of money. Of course, Baron, don't get too excited yet. There are still 3 steps to go. Only then will they be willing to stay in the mine and be driven to work. First, reduce miners' base salary to the minimum level and give them a certain percentage of the minerals. This will filter out the lazy people who are bad at fishing. NPC Baron Dunn dared to shout for enlightenment. There's actually this kind of method. Zyrong's casual probe unexpectedly revealed that the Baron didn't even understand basic economic concepts. But the Baron had another doubt. Even so, the price of iron ore is still high, even doubled to 20 copper coins. Zyrong told the Baron not to worry. Anyway, even if the price is higher, those who should buy will still buy. Actually, for those master blacksmiths, even 20 copper coins for a piece of iron ore, the profit is still considerable. They didn't even raise their prices despite the rising cost of raw materials. If someone still thinks the price is too high, then they can dig it themselves if they want to. Whoever can do it should go and do it. Isn't that only natural? The Baron was enlightened, as if he had suddenly gained new insights. He never knew that there were such tricks in the business world. If you weren't an adventurer, I'd hire you as my treasurer. However, Zirong has paved the way for this. He was waiting for the Baron to offer a reward for his miracle. The next second, Zirong placed the pre-written scroll on the table. Baron was confused looking at the scroll. Sir, this is the project plan I wrote. You open it and see, you'll be satisfied. It is very limited to know how much profit a person can bring. So how to break through this limit? It's simple. It means that the group is led by an individual. If Baron is willing to donate 10% of the mine's annual income, I will assign ownership of this project. And all the management methods are completely handed over to you. Looking at the enthusiasm for mining in the town, the Duke has no reason to refuse. Satan was curious about what else was in the project plan. Zirong lacked a figurative analogy. Going up the mountain is easy, but going down is difficult. Mining is inherently a thankless task. Ordinary players can mine a maximum of 10 iron ores per hour. And the reason I could mine rare minerals. But he is equipped with the destroyer of the demon cave. Satan Miao Dong, aren't you digging a pit for the newcomer to jump into? Why would a newbie waste their time mining for you? Of course, there are ways to keep them. That is the admission ticket to sell the mine. But the poor only have time left, all those who can't afford tickets to enter. The extracted minerals can also be used for repayment. The entrance ticket price is about 1 gold coin. Satan felt his scalp tingle upon hearing this. Who would buy such an expensive threshold? It is true, after all, the news I released was. Mining is as simple as picking up money on the ground. So I'm not worried that they won't be willing to enter at a high level. Zirong suddenly revealed a wicked smile. This way, I can enjoy the aura. The Demon King Satan only felt that the fluffy child in front of him was the true Demon King. Moreover, he extorted others without a trace of guilt. After much deliberation, I still feel that this guy is worthy of being my master. Zirong did not expect. Baron Nihal is a better guitarist than him. A new player watched Zirong's video. Immediately rushed to the mine. But she was stopped by a guard. Don't you know that you need a ticket to enter the mine? The boy was completely dumbfounded. How come this video didn't mention this game at all? Could there be a change in the mine's situation? The NPC guard morally blackmailed. Have you adventurers contributed anything to the development of this mine? Those who do not work shall not eat. Isn't it right to pay for usage? That makes sense. May I ask how much is this entrance ticket? Not expensive, not expensive. It's only 30 gold coins a month. The boy was so scared that he was out of his wits. 30 gold coins are equivalent to a daily usage fee of 50,000. The key is I can't afford it. Is the dream of getting rich overnight gone? The guard immediately saw through the boy's mind. He gave a sly smile and said consolingly, Young man, don't be discouraged. Looking at your equipment, I know you're not rich. But our Lord has established a system for people like you. Seems to be called Xianyong Ho Fu. You can ask me at the information center. The NPC customer service representative at the consultation center is beautiful. This instantly lowered the boy's psychological defenses. Watching the young man walk towards the consultation center, the NPC guard is like seeing the boy's future that will never return. At this time, the sound of pickaxes striking could be constantly heard from the mine. Everyone prayed that heaven would explode a rare ore so that they could pay the entrance fee early. NPC customer service Louis Mu Guai did not expect these players to be willing to become slaves. This is a plan that is easy to go up the mountain but difficult to come down. It's definitely not something the Lord would think of. In short, the person who thought of this plan. He is simply a walking devil. At this moment, a pop-up window appeared on Zirong's side. Daily iron ore output of 10,000 achieved. The Troubled Lord's task is completed. Please find the Lord to claim the task-related rewards. Zirong was also confused. How could it be faster than he imagined? But Zirong doesn't have time to receive the award right now. For Satan brought him deep into the mountains of the other shore. There unexpectedly exists an ancient relic here. The surrounding stones look dilapidated, but this iron gate is still shiny. Is there magic on the door? So what secrets lie hidden behind the door? Even the Demon King Satan is excited about this. Still mining in the virtual game. Kain Chai Yang Kyo Wa Dao Iko Guan Kai. But he would not open it no matter what. The Demon King, however, said that the coffin lid was also a rare mineral. Therefore, the greedy boy dug the coffin lid as if it were ore. Then the devil pointed at Shihai and said his necklace was the most precious item in the entire mine. The very next second the boy picked up the necklace. The game pop-up message congratulates you on obtaining the Heavenly Realm medal. Divine breath will purify the impurities within your body. As the holy light surged into the male lead Zyrong's body, the only thing happened. It turned out that Satan accidentally found the ancient ruins at the foot of Mount Bayan. But this place looks clearly deserted for a long time. The door of the ruins, however, was so brightly lit. Is there magic on the door? So what exactly lies behind the door? Even the Demon King Satan is excited about this. Just as Zyrong was about to touch the door, the magic seal on the door activated. Pop-up notification. You can spend 15,000 trusted classics to unseal. Facing the unknown, Zyrong is not stingy. Kursen Dien Xiai Shi Biu Yong Gung Dai He Shi. The trustworthy token has been consumed. Congratulations on discovering the unknown celestial altar. Satan smiled. It really is a relic related to angels. Just as Zyrong opened the ruins, the game officials were blown away. Brain received a warning. A user has invaded the Bayan Mountain ruins in advance. Therefore, all 693 related tasks will be contaminated. Originally, the mountain of the other shore was the location where the first angel descended upon Arcadia. Once also the entrance to the magnificent celestial realm. To protect the ruins, ore veins were generated to divert attention. But now, the entrance to the ruins has been opened by players ahead of time. The final consequence. This is the mythical quest that will pollute the future. The Second Holy Devil War. The Holy Demon War is the battle between angels and demons on the stage of Arcadia. The intense life and death fluctuations unfolded. Countless lives shed blood and sacrificed their heads for this. For this, all beings on the continent suffered. And in the First Holy Devil War, if it weren't for the savior of the world's surgery, Arcadia, absolutely no living creature could survive. Zyrong walked into the ruins, ready to hunt for treasure and explore. Let's go, master. Let's empty all the treasures in the cave. Therefore, Satan. Do you mean the treasure is in this fruit painting? Because there was almost nothing left in the ruins, only the light fruit at the altar looked edible. So, Xiaodan, how do we open it? Thus, the two of them lifted for about 10 minutes. Guanggue unexpectedly didn't move at all. There's no setting on this. It's simply because the light is too heavy. Zyrong is just a new player. His strength points are far from enough. The Demon King, however, said that even the roof tiles were rare minerals. So the greedy Zyrong immediately put on his goggles. Then he took out the destroyer of the magic cave. Naturally, I want to use the mining method to open the light cover. As the drill bit and Guangai violently exploded, there was a loud bang as the light cover shattered. The cold window, however, reminded you that you had destroyed an ancient artifact unknown to the world. The beings in the celestial realm were shocked by the player's actions. Your favorability with the heavenly realm has dropped to the lowest point. The vandal who received the title of cultural relic. But after Kai Rong saw the things in the observation room, he looked disgusted. The skeleton inside was wearing nothing but a tattered garment, and a necklace around his neck. It didn't look like he had any great treasures on him. Divine breath will purify the impurities within your body. As the holy light desperately poured into Zyrong's body, the sacred phantom in the celestial metal became increasingly real, until the features of the phantom became clear. A surge of holy energy, stronger than before, spread out in all directions. The devil Satan only felt that he was about to be torn apart by the holy light. Zyrong was as warm as bathed in sunlight. Kashuing Gang Yao Fu Zyrong in Tsengji Yawe Da de Xianji Shi. A flame ignited in Zyrong's chest, seemingly declaring her sovereignty. At this time, the game issued a warning: you are not the remaining player. The system has encountered a fatal error. The equipment will be temporarily out of service. Arcadia Virtual Reality Company will prioritize fixing it for you. Zyrong was startled into a cold sweat. It seems my original hidden profession is what he dislikes. Anyway, the game company will help me with it. But that's all for now. Prepare to find Nanju to receive the task reward. Zyrong's arrival made Nanju extremely excited. Because Nanju will not have to worry about a shortage of miners for the next year. Then he signed up 10,000 miners, and I'm going to take 30% of their mineral profits. How did you come up with this idea? Actually, Zyrong just read some news about unscrupulous businesses. This is how she got the inspiration. Compared to when he met NPC Nanju. Seeing such attractive conditions. To be honest, Zyrong was a little tempted. However, Zyrong refused by saying that he was going to travel to the mainland. The next second, the NPC Nanjuejin handed over a letter of recommendation. Got it. You will at least get some personal protection in the Mahong Kingdom. This letter is also part of the mission reward. He could carry the load, but he felt confused. You said personal safety? Could there be a war in the kingdom? Nanju bluntly said he will not fall. Actually, the recent royal atmosphere is quite unusual. The king was old. It does not consider the future of the country at all. If you take my letter of recommendation to Balukin, he will definitely give you an important position. It was too late when the male lead decided to avoid this kind of plot. Tan Chuang prompts that mandatory tasks are updated. Assist the Mahong Kingdom and the royal family, but the mission will change depending on the player's actions. Ere Zyrong knew she couldn't refuse the draft dodging mission, and her heart sank. She wished she hadn't opened her mouth. Zyrong finally bid farewell to Baron Mihal. He kept thinking about the triggered mission along the way. Even Satan, the devil, knows that human political struggles are particularly troublesome. But Zyrong wanted to try. After all, only by stirring up trouble can I gain more credibility. The result is this pop-up message. The Celestial Award Medal with Shining Glory has undergone a comprehensive adjustment to its ability values. Congratulations, you have established a connection with the sacred heavenly realm through this medium. Permanently summon the holy prestige of the Holy Glory. The Archangel Michael will descend to earth. The man took a glory necklace from Angel Shur. Unexpectedly summoned the holy Archangel Michael. Immediately below the Jianhu Lake, 1,000 meters deep. From the demon's statue that has been sealed for 1,000 years. Took out a fluorescent necklace. And summoned the chaotic lord, the demon king Satan. Angels and demons have always been sworn enemies. The two leaders. But at the same time, she completed the permanent hell with the male lead. But what intrigued Zyrong the most? If paying angel trust points. What special abilities can he provide for himself? Divine pets and demonic pets wanted to fight to the death as soon as they met. Ayajane. Like the war between the saints and demons 1,000 years ago. First occupy his land, where the people are plunged into misery and suffering. Then account for his global demise. The male protagonist was added in the middle, not a person on the left or right. But still have to be the angel's microphone. He has to act quickly to become a demon. These two guys are, after all, the leaders of the two clans. They are fighting like the children of the Ling family. It was during the Holy Magic War 1,000 years ago. Michael and Satan had a decisive battle at Bianchan. The angel pierced Satan's abdomen. Until Satan noticed the holy spear in the angel's hand. The despicable chicken wing bastard. Unexpectedly bringing such a high-level Saint Chi like Muspelheim. And this story is what Zijiong saw in the library? At this moment, Michael flew to Zijiong's side. I can sense the power you possess. But this power of confidence, if it falls into the hands of the vile bat, is very dangerous. Therefore, to protect you from the influence of the devil's tiny shells, let me, Michael, be your guardian angel, guide you to the light. Satan burst out laughing. Haha, stupid chicken wings. I can guarantee it with the personality of the demon leader. The human before your eyes is more evil than a demon. Actually, Zirong had to admit. The wanderer who has experienced chaotic times, this profession is to disturb the world to become stronger. So everything I did in the game, unconsciously sided with evil. After all, this is all I can do. Only then can one gain the confidence to change the rules of the game. Angel Michael did not think so. Human nature is originally good. The mission of an angel is to awaken the kindness that lies dormant within them. See how proactive Michael is. Satan immediately realized that this guy's aim was off. Therefore, Micah, I'm giving you face for my master, but don't even think about getting a piece of the pie. Michael really laughed to death. With me here, you won't be able to monopolize the owner's trust points. Listening to the two people's noisy quarrel, Zyrong stopped Mikhail. Shaolu, you know that no matter angels or devils, this world always adheres to the principle of money. Since we're talking about confidence, so I ask, what can you offer me if I pay you with trust points? And Wan Yu Lai is also a common knowledge of the celestial realm. Several weapons in the celestial realm can indeed help humans. However, Zyrong's current weakness is the combat power of the game characters. So Shaolu, can you provide me with fighting ability? Although a wanderer in troubled times can have the confidence to change the rules, but unable to possess any means of attack. The character does not have a level system yet. Zyrong's skills, such as mining and diving, are useless in battle. Although equipment can be exchanged through Satan, it cannot make up for one's combat weaknesses. At this moment, Michael thought of the best way to improve. The letter window indicates that the divine skill has been generated and should be accessible by consuming trust points, borrowing the power of the heavenly throne temporarily. This power has no upper limit, but it is closely related to the credible information provided by the owner. After learning the usage, Zyrong found it difficult to endure foster care. Immediately activate the skill to unleash its divine power. The next moment, holy energy soared to the sky. Even the demon king Satan was repelled by the holy aura. The entire forest was illuminated by holy light. The wild beasts deep in the jungle immediately sensed the enemy's arrival. "Brothers, follow me to kill them," Michael explained. "Master, this is a divine skill. It is possible to borrow the power of ancient heroic spirits, who once fought bravely for the celestial realm. For example, the glorious knight Parhan, Merlin the Archmage, Shingong Shou Parkour, and the great thief Mirpan. Doesn't this mean that Zyrong has 5 classes at the same time? These are several orc-like creatures coming from the forest." Zyrong's left eye shone with holy light. How could she not use the demonic knife when it was presented to her? Stark the god. Zyrong's chosen soul is the glorious knight Palhan. He has another title, the Demon's Crusher, for the demonic blood on the tip of his sword never dried. He saved countless lives behind his shield. The demon has only one fate left when facing him. That is to be tormented by fear, purified by burning within a giant sword carrying holy light. Just as he was about to use his divine power. The literal meaning is to attach the power of God to the body. Judging by Satan's reaction, Parhan is the devil in the devil's eyes. "It's been a long wait, my magic stone swords." The half-orc showed a trace of hesitation. What exactly was this power? Are these monsters all spending money? They are so provocative but not few. Could it be a leader-level monster in this forest? Level 25 orc? So when the orc leader swung his sword the next second, Zyrong just unfolded the divine shield in his hand. It actually directly melted the beastman's giant sword. The pop-up message reads, "Launch the unwavering will. This overwhelming power feels really good. Decay 2. Now it's our turn. Without the belief in justice. The sparks of dawn are burning. Illuminate paradise. Dispel all unrest in the world." It's not an exaggeration to say that the current Zyrong is afraid of Han Qingling. The half-orc was scattered by the undead souls under the holy light. Zyrong was lost in his strength, unable to extricate himself. "I'll take your heads." The giant sword descended, as brilliant as a falling star. The half-orc turned to dust. Pop-up notification, the divine skill has been deactivated. Starting to calculate the duration with the player. You have consumed 352 confidence points. The moon is bright and the wind is gentle. Zyrong's holy light faded, and he returned to his original form. Facing level 25 monsters is a complete crush. But the scene just now really shocked Michael. Although he used the power of the god, its power was too ridiculous. Can the human body withstand such powerful force? At that moment, Mika suddenly realized something. So that's it. He smiled slightly. "Creator, I finally understand why you sent me here. This human is the one who can change the world's direction." Mika will stare at his every move. Looking at Zyrong, he wasn't worried at all. "I thought I could finally have a hearty battle. These monsters can't even withstand one move from me." The sword shadow released by a level 1 beginner. However, it made the level 150 sword master stand down without fighting. It turned out that Zyrong was there before. Still a weak G without any means of attack. But the divine skill bestowed by the Archangel Michael will make God. Kamibu Zyrong Juncture de Cassian. Jiangshan's only flaw is ghosts. Because the duration of the god just now was only 5 minutes. He consumed more than 300 credibility points. In case of encountering a difficult enemy, the consumption of credibility points is simply an endless abyss. Zyrong then leaned her head over. Looking at the two arguing gods and demons, these two guys could still sleep peacefully together. But I should go to sleep too. After all, I still have to go to the Mahong Kingdom tomorrow. Execute that damn mission. It turns out that the Mahong Kingdom has been constantly. The king was too old, and the prince was too young. Kingdom nobles stirred up trouble everywhere to seize power. The worst of all is Duke Belhai. He is the ringleader of these radicals. To break the king faster. At this critical juncture, he proposed to wage war against the neighboring country. Isn't it just because he wants to embezzle food supplies and military funds? After all, he is a duke. He can mobilize the entire army of the Magic Red Kingdom. Taking advantage of its geographical advantage, the Mahong Kingdom became a hub for trade among various countries. Are you satisfied to be received by me, the deputy manager? Who is having our caravan leader meet with the duke? And the duke inside the house. It is indeed, Tuanju Chui of Belhai. I believe you should have guessed that the future Magic Red Kingdom will wage war against the Giant Rock Kingdom. Manhwa, the leader of the GM business group, should know the pros and cons. Chui Jike actually knew it very well. This NPC duke is ready to become king. Is the best partner who can bring themselves hundreds of millions of huge sums of money. It turned out Chui Jige was the youngest son of the GM group chairman, but can't stand the hardships at the grassroots level. So Duke, our trading company will purchase a large amount of stock. You need to talk to the king about the price. No problem. Our Mahon Kingdom's military funds will also be given to the GM Chamber of Commerce to the greatest extent possible. The only reason I'm looking for a guild formed by players to help me is that I have only one request. I need to attract the NPC's attention. At this moment, Chui Jige's heart was racing, until Duke Belhai left. Chui Jike's opportunity to rise in front of his father arrived. He must raise funds as soon as possible. After all, a duke who wants to embezzle the treasury and become king is a rare sight in 100 years. If this deal is half done, is the entire server economy of Arcadia and really just in the hands of our GM group? Just wait and see, father. I will definitely prove my business talent through this game. However, Chui Long had just met Count Poloken at this moment. The count looked disdainful. It was Baron Michael who asked you to find me. Did he also bring his recommendation letter? Yes. He said that he could get personal protection by coming to you. Only a ripping sound was heard. The letter, unopened, was torn in two. Chui Long was somewhat disbelieving. Poloken enjoyed Chui Long's anger and asked, "What did Michael want you to find me for?" Chui Long's lips curled up. "Are you going to ask me directly why?" The next second, Chui Long burst into laughter and asked rhetorically, "The reason? Isn't that something people in high positions should consider?" The words exchanged between the two sparked brilliant flames. Count Borakeng burst into a deafening laugh. "You're just my type, kid. It goes without saying that I know why he asked you to come. He definitely thinks you are a talent who can prevent the war between the two countries." Chui Long said sarcastically, "I don't think I have that ability." Balaken read the meaning in the words. Hearing about the war, he wasn't surprised. "It seems Baron Mihar trusts you very much. He has already told you the general situation, so Dex. I also wanted to know how to stop the war between the two countries." After some thought, Chui Long offered two solutions. A simple method and a difficult method. Balukin decided to listen to the simple ones first. "Don't you all say that Duke Belhai is the main culprit? Then, it's simply that the thief of love comes before the king of love." Bolyok instantly looked serious, saying, "Kill Duke Belhai." Chui Long chuckled and said, "Isn't this the simplest thing?" Balukin almost laughed his eyes out. "You didn't say anything. To know his personal bodyguard. All are master level or above knights and mages. If anyone can assassinate him, I can even let him be this count." Chui Long now volunteered, pointing at himself. "I'm sure I can do it." Bolyok doesn't look down upon Silo. "I want to use your first level ability. Perhaps I can't even touch the Duke's foot." Chui Long confidently smiled and said, "Uncle, please don't judge a book by its cover. This momentum. Youth is good. Come with me, young man. Your edges are really too sharp. Since you are so confident, how about we spar? I trust Michael's judgment of you, so kid. Please make sure. Do not let me down." The desire for battle blooms in every cell of Balukin. "I am a blade master. But even with my skills, I am not sure I can complete the assassination." Chui Long's response was only two words. "Jiang. Shin." Wandering Knight Capra successfully becomes a god. In an instant, Chui Long's killing intent burst forth. The moment made the Earl feel powerless. How could this be possible? Just a moment ago, he was just a boy who had never touched a sword. Now, he has a burst of courage. It's like someone who has practiced swordsmanship all their life. Chui Long's eyes were resolute. He vowed to end the battle in 5 minutes. The timid count felt panicked. Quick shadow step activation pop-up prompt. The will to fight decisively has been ignited, and the wind sword has taken effect. The great spirit completed the treasure. The seemingly nimble sword's edge. The moment it struck the count's sword, it was like a mountain of soldiers. Chui Long thought one move would decide the victory, but the Count of Porlock reluctantly accepted it. Just as Chui Long was about to disperse his divine skills, the Count became interested. "You are indeed not an ordinary adventurer." Chui Long grinned and said, "You know what's good. Let's end the practice here." Actually, Chui Long felt sorry for his trustworthy points. However, Count Borakin found himself facing a worthy opponent, and refused to give up. "Boy, you're up against the wall, but let me show you what I'm capable of." In the blink of an eye, a crimson dochi enveloped the Count's sword, crackling with a sizzling sound. "Although I only recently became a sword master run, I have an undeniable pride in myself. The fighting energy profit I condense most often is the source of my pride. Chui Long sighed. He had to beat him down. Balukin decided to burn his boats. Boy, if you have the ability, lend me your strongest one. I also really want to know how strong your true sword intent is. Only a sword beam, like a pack of ferocious beasts, raged towards Chui Long. The strongest is not sharpness but Boju's unflinching sword intent. However, just as the sword struck Chui Long, a surge of Do Chi, 100 times more terrifying than an earl's, appeared out of thin air. It immediately devoured the sword just now. I said, Count Borikin, let's make this quick. The boy is only in the first grade. Advise Ming to use the level 150 Iaido beyond his current level. Clearly, a second ago, he was still like a player who had never touched a sword. But the next second, Chui Long erupted with power. Like someone who has practiced swordsmanship for a lifetime. The boy made a permanent contract with an angel as a worm. You only need to spend trust points. Then he could invite the ancient souls to possess him. Paladin, Archmage, Divine Fist, Assassin. 4 professions can be switched at will. When faced with the Earl's desperate and fierce Chi prophets, Xilong activates the skill Jiangxun. Summon Night Copulas. A pair of invisible wind attribute dual swords appeared out of thin air. To the Count's astonishment, Do Chi run this realm. Just now, the life-saving Xilong decided to end the battle quickly. Now Xilong possesses the swordsmanship of Kapalasa. He then started trying out the sword he used to play with in the 3D online game. Xilong seemingly only swung his sword once. In fact, it is the power of 100 swords combined into one, the power of 100 sword energies superimposed at the same time, which is imaginable. He was glad that he had not died. A pop-up message appeared, indicating the end of Jiangxun. You have spent a total of 2,812 points of confidence, and earned the title, Miracle Duelist. Strength increases by 10 points. After killing the dragon, Chaoya was furious. Extortion, this is definitely extortion. Nijali popped up to explain. I think the power the host borrowed far exceeds the price. However, to be honest, you are able to use this power so perfectly. Have you practiced swordsmanship before? Xilong did not lie. When I used to play 3D PC games. He is the top knight in the whole server. And at this moment, Count Borikin had not yet recovered from the shock. As a blade master, she failed to predict the sword trajectory of this level 1 newbie. Perhaps the boy in front of him has surpassed the level of a sword master. Count knelt before Xilong. What is your pursuit in swordsmanship? After some thought, Xilong reached a conclusion. Perhaps it's the wind. A sharp wind, swifter and freer than anyone else. At this moment, Count Barakin felt a slight fog. Seize the feeling of this moment, and swing your sword. His breath became restrained. He swung his sword with much more composure than before. Xilong's casual remark made the NPC subconsciously start practicing. Afterward, before bowing 90 degrees to Xilong, the Count said, Previously, I spoke presumptuously. Please forgive this old fogey. Xilong doesn't care. After all, who has ever heard of a level 1 newbie assassinating a duke? They all have the same reaction. So, General Dex, are you really going to assassinate Duke Belhai? With your abilities, I believe it's within your grasp. But his death will cause controversy within the royal family. But the internal and external problems of the Mohong kingdom are like weeds, growing everywhere. Perhaps this is the most direct way. At this moment, Belokin finally understood the terrifying aspect of the young man before him. He, with his exceptional swordsmanship, possesses such an inner strength. The birth of this young man will surely shake the entire continent. Pop-up notification at this moment. This mission to assassinate Duke Belhite has been updated. Xilong is embarrassed. This game system is really sensitive. At this time, the magic pet Satan poked its head out and smiled wickedly. Master, when will you go and kill this guy? Michael the Angel rushed out to oppose. Assassination is absolutely unacceptable. We should have a fair and square duel. And sending a duel challenge 3 days in advance is reasonable. Xilong was stunned. In fact, Xilong didn't want to kill Bearhai now. Xiao Dan and Xiao Lu, you need to understand one thing. Duke Belhai would certainly not go to war with neighboring countries without reason. From my standpoint, the life and death of the pet kingdom have nothing to do with me. What I care about is who I work with. Talent brings me the greatest benefit. The war of the kingdom has been going on from the beginning to the end. It just depends on which country provokes first. That is to say, it doesn't matter who starts the war. However, one thing is certain. That is, during the most chaotic times of the war plan, the roles I can play will become more numerous. The credibility of the information obtained is relatively higher. And what Xiao Dan wondered was why he didn't directly team up with this bastard Duke of Belheim. Xilong smiled. Xiao Dan, you are still on the first floor, while I am in the atmosphere. The war you understand is a conflict between two kingdoms. And the war I understand is another kind. That is the friction between forces within the kingdom. If I successfully provoke two wars to happen at the same time, then my credibility gain will be doubled. Satan felt his scalp tingling. He was truly crazy. Master, this position of Demon King should be yours. However, Satan took out a notebook. Record all the strategies Jiang Zilong just mentioned. This guy really sees the world entirely from his own perspective. Bathed in sunlight, he is the most terrifying Demon King in this world. Then, two people in black robes suddenly emerged from the ground. They wore masks to hide their identities. Let's go with us for a trip. 'Cause Zilong wasn't afraid of this. Why are you guys so late? 1 moment ago, he was a sacred knight bathed in holy glory. The next second, she became a necromancer of the undead scourge. Because the male protagonist awakened the strongest job in history, troublemaker. The game will be affected by his disruption. To give him trustworthy points of different values. And he can do it by consuming credibility points. Temporarily borrow all the power of the demon realm and the god realm. Not only can summon the holy and flawless glory knight. You can also summon a necromancer who controls the dead. Therefore, to quickly accumulate credibility points, Shan Zuzalong set his sights on the troubled Mohong Kingdom. Because the Mohong Kingdom is preparing to go to war with the Ling Kingdom. Internally, the first Duke of the kingdom wanted to ascend the throne and become king. Assassinating the Duke will create Great Britain. Therefore, Zirong decided to visit the Duke to find out what was going on. Just as Zirong entered the Duke's mansion, saw a young man full of fighting spirit. Perhaps he was one of the sources of this Great Britain. Originally, before Zirong Jinwen. So can your grace give me some time to prepare? When war breaks out with neighboring countries in the future, let our GM Chamber of Commerce be responsible for the entire army's provisions. This helps the Duke control the national treasury quickly. It is easy to get promoted. Duke Bayorai pointed at the ceiling. Don't you think it's better to discuss this after I board? Is this the best time? Chui Jikui was about to speak. The Duke's eyes became sharp. Adventurer, are you doubting me? The most frightening thing in negotiation is that the other side doesn't take notes. Chui Jikui, who suffered a silent loss, vented all on the wall. For a pleasant collaboration, he had to swallow his anger. Because in these 3 days he spent 10 million gold coins to pre-order all the shares on the market. It's all converted into real currency, which is 1 quadrillion Chinese yuan. If the plan fails, don't say that conglomerates in real life will go bankrupt directly. Father will definitely skin me alive and pull out my tendons. If the two kingdoms really go to war, the price of the 5 goods skyrocketed tenfold overnight. It's not impossible for 1 trillion to become 10 trillion. But just then, Chui Rong suddenly passed by Chui Jigui. But it made Chui Jikui's heart skip a beat. Chui Jikui wanted to chase after her but was too late. No mistake. This guy used a cloak to cover his newbie outfit. This guy is definitely not an NPC but a player like me. But how could he enter Duke Bayorai's residence? Does he want to interfere? The reason why Chui Rong was able to meet Duke Belhai. Mainly because of Count Borikin's recommendation. Chui Rong's first words were, Count Borikin is planning to assassinate you. Bayorai's face instantly turned black. Adventurer, do you think I'll take your word for it? I think the Duke already has a picture in his mind. You don't need me to prove it. The divine beast and the demonic pet were instantly furious. You jerk, why are you lying? Demon King Satan suddenly felt a trace of bewilderment. Could this guy be doing this on purpose? Xiao Dan, it seems you understand. Bayorai knowingly asked. So adventurer, why are you telling me this information? Chui Rong immediately expressed her opinion. Chui Rong immediately revealed his game ID, which was Dex. Finally, they shook hands in a friendly manner. Is it Dex? It seems we will get along very well in the future. Excellent, Chui Rong's successful team. At this moment, Chui Rong can be sure that the Duke, even before knowing her heart, could not bear the weight. It also represents the Duke's determination to go to war with the neighboring country is real. And Chui Rong's next step is to determine where exactly does the 5 million yuan source reported by the news come from? Until 2 people in black robes appeared. Chui Rong finally understood the identity of the trillion yuan investor. It's the yellow-haired guy I just met at the Duke's mansion. If I remember correctly, he is the leader of the GM Chamber of Commerce. So Hyperion's appearance did not cause Chui Rong any fear. I said, why are you guys so late? Boy, welcome to the GM Chamber of Commerce. Then sit down and talk. Chui Jikui fiercely asked, what did you and the Duke talk about? Chui Rong tentatively said, want to leave safely. Perhaps the only option is to use the spirit summoning skill? However, the Chamber of Commerce's vice president suddenly bowed to Chui Rong. Actually, we just want to ask you. Has Duke Bayorai given a mission? seeing Chui Rong stubbornly refuse to admit the truth. Calm down. Young master, you have crossed the line. Then, the vice commander bowed to Chui Rong. Hello, young friend. Because our Chamber of Commerce director. There are so many investors in Duke Belhai, that's why he is very sensitive. Seeing such a cunning and sly person, Chui Rong also couldn't help but sigh at the old man's depth. Then Chui Jikei calmed down. Chui Rong threw a sack of gold coins at Chao. So, adventurer of unknown identity, are these things enough to convince you? Hearing that, Chui Rong secretly rejoiced in his heart. In that case, then I just have to give up the mission the Duke gave me. Chui Jikei had never seen someone so greedy before. He should have known better than to waste his breath on him. Chui Rong was able to confirm two pieces of information throughout the day. Duke Beihai wanted to usurp the throne and control the entire kingdom. GM Group is involved with him. The morning news is about the result of GM Group's investment in the game. They didn't expect them to be so desperate. Investment amount. It's almost the same as their group's valuation. Such a mild relationship must involve enormous karma. However, I only need to kill Duke Beihai, and the situation will be turned upside down. It also allows him to get a huge amount of credible points. Just as Chui Rong decided to have Yi Sei assassinate the Duke. Michael, the angel who represents justice. Isn't it just power? I can lend you the power of the One Ring. Chui Rong's face was suddenly full of surprise. Xiaodan, could you too? Satan revealed a wicked smile. Actually, I can also do what God can do. Xiaodan immediately generated the contract. The next moment, a magic formation filled with evil spiritual power suddenly unfolded. The next second, a character selection pop-up window for Gong Gei and Chui Rong appeared. The demons here not only suck blood but also have black magicians. Human needs Archimer. This guy is the pinnacle of necromancers. Legend has it that he alone destroyed an entire empire with 1 million people. He gambled everything and made a pact with the devil. And summoned the peak necromancer, Alzheimer. As long as there are enough corpses. This is equivalent to having an undead legion that can regenerate infinitely. Between her hands, a nation could be extinguished, and no one would find it an exaggeration. What's more, it's a necromancer of Alzheimer's level. However, the male protagonist summoned him for a purpose. But it was to assassinate the source of all evil. Kingdom's first Duke Beihai. But what the male lead is looking forward to is, what rich gain rewards can I get for assassinating the Duke? Therefore, the 2 guardian knights of the Duke's manor. Truly worthy of being the first Duke's guard. And he is also a paladin NPC. The fear in his heart made the guardian knight unconsciously go all out. He instantly stacked the blade of judgment skill. Zaorong's lips curled into a disdainful smile. Skill soul feather activation. A demon from the abyss of hell suddenly appeared out of thin air. He could extinguish all light with his will. The knight, pierced by the thorn, was shocked and horrified. Because he sensed the presence of a necromancer in the hair. Another knight, seeing this, fled in panic. Wu Yao is indeed Wu Yao. This must be immediately reported nationwide. The next second, the soul spirit's hair devoured his heart. After all, Zairong still couldn't expose herself. The power of a necromancer lies in the number of undead he controls. So now the materials have also been raised. The 2 knights who just died. Hongxing stood up. The fantasy of lost skills. This skill can stabilize the soul energy within the corpse. Then transform the corpses into undead soldiers with the combat power they had in life. The rank of a soldier is determined by the strength of the deceased in their lifetime. Unexpectedly, this knight has reached the level of an ultimate death knight. And at this time, necromancers only need enough corpses and mana. This is equivalent to having the ability to infinitely manipulate the undead. The existence of a necromancer is equivalent to possessing a massive legion. Therefore, the necromancer class is especially suitable for siege warfare. Just like now. Along the way, Zairong secretly killed dozens of soldiers from the Earl's mansion. The number of undead is also increasing. Faced with the undead army, the first reaction of everyone was to call for the paladin squad. After they could see the features of the dead knight, they were utterly terrified. Aren't these guys the holy knights of the mansion? Soon only a few guards remained in the mansion. The only thing that moved was Duke Belhai, still half asleep. It was too late when his subordinates came in to report. The mansion is now filled with demonic beasts, master. We have no choice but to wait for death. The imminent death made the Duke pale. The next second, the necromancer's evil energy flowed into the Duke's bedroom. Zairong finally found the culprit who influenced everything. Kill him, this will prove my loyalty. Maybe I can really get a lot of credibility points. In the blink of an eye, 3 undead soldiers charged into the Duke's room. Looking at the once familiar subordinates, they all turned into undead and prepared to go against the heavenly gang. And among this group of undead, the tallest undead knight. Isn't it his own trusted holy sword, Lidenio? Next, a black-robed figure appeared from behind the undead. Duke Bayorai, we meet again. How could Bayorai not remember us? He who flattered a few days ago. Now, the evil spirit comes to lock your fate. Duke Belhai begged. Adventurer, tell me what you desire, and I will grant it. Zai Rongfei's foot revealed a hint of a sinister smile. If I wanted your little life? This is the purpose of my coming here. Ming Ming is the Duke NPC in the game. Even when facing death, they surprisingly exhibit fear like real people. Duke, you have to be careful about who you hire. War or the throne. Even if I want to profit from national disasters, I don't care. But you shouldn't make me unhappy with the people you use. Be careful next time. But it's unknown whether NPCs have an afterlife. In the Duke's plea for help, Zai Rong gave the order. Then let the subordinates you command send you to death. Past events flashed before the Duke's eyes like a kaleidoscope. It's all in vain, just like fetching water in a bamboo basket. The light goes out when a person dies. A pop-up message appeared, indicating that Duke Belhir is deceased. Therefore, the secretly conducted plan went seriously awry. Arcadia's 321 related tasks were thus deleted. He was awarded the title of Noble Ravager. Congratulations on completing this task. You have been credited with the midterm reward of 53,000 credibility points. Then the credibility of the settlement will be higher. The credible entry made both gods and demons' eyes shine with golden light. Master seems to have become even more delicious. By the way, little Dan, Alchemo's general god time shouldn't be limited, right? Yes, Master, as long as you pay enough trustworthy points. Zai Rong immediately showed a sinister expression, his skin crawling with goosebumps. Is the host going to cause trouble again? Immediately after, Duke Sairanko Bayorai released the fantasy of death. Don't play dead. Get up. After all, there are still many places I haven't destroyed. For example, Chui Jikui spent 1 trillion. Pre-ordered from NPC farmers in the form of futures. Wheat that will be produced in the next year. Perhaps tomorrow GM Group will go bankrupt because of my decision. Someone spent 1 billion in a virtual game hoarding supplies. I thought I could sell the supplies for 10 times the price. As a result, he lost everything overnight. He even became the public enemy of the entire server in Arcadia. The kingdom in the game world is about to start a war. Future grain and fodder will surely be achieved without seeking reward. Therefore, Choi Jikui spent all of his assets. Signed a contract with all the NPC farmers in the Magic Red Kingdom, and pre-ordered their entire 2 floors in the form of futures. Trying to make a quick buck. Duke Bayorai, the one who started the war. But he was beheaded by his own personal guards. The head finally fell, and the effort was in vain. Look carefully. Qing Wei has become an undead. The male protagonist, Rome, is possessed by the demon realm's strongest necromancer, and used his necromancy. He killed hundreds of ducal guards, and be summoned again as a dead spirit. Afterward, Zai Rong brought the 50,000 trust points he earned from killing the Duke, and led the army of undead to start the destruction war of the territory. After hours of devastation, the Duke of Bayorai's territory has seen an 85% decline in production capacity, and a 98% decline in military capability. All the NPC residents of the territory have fled. At this moment, the flag symbolizes the Duke of a perished nation. It was burned to ashes by Zai Rong. Thus, the territory of Duke Belhai was completely destroyed. Pop-up notification, title obtained. The evil necromancer Duke Bayer Haigong's secrets and plans were thus thwarted. Congratulations on earning 14,000 confidence points. Looking at the territory covered by the army of undead, Zai Rong regretted not choosing necromancer as his profession. As long as there is enough mana, it is nothing to mobilize hundreds of thousands of undead soldiers. But watching the lost sea every day is also a kind of torment. This battle earned Zai Rong 60,000 trusted points. But it's unknown how much the god will have to pay this time. After all, this is power borrowed from others. The trustworthiness points consumed might be even more than those earned. So Xiaodan, how much confidence have I consumed in you so far? The next second, Satan threw out a computer and started to meticulously calculate the consumption of the credibility points. In summary, Master, you owe me a total of 42,284.5 coins. Xiaodan, do I look like a fool? Give me a discount. Satan felt a stab of pain in his heart. Master, you're actually bargaining with me? Since you have used the corresponding power, you have to pay the corresponding confidence, right? Zai Rong looked unconcerned. But I am a VP, am I not? You have to give me some coupons. Satan was so angry that his face turned black. Do you think I'm a department store? Zai Rong threatened. If you don't give me a discount, I will only trade with Xiala from now on. Your family, Liden, suddenly had a look of expectation. Is it true, Master? If that's the case, 4,000 will do. Zyrong directly cut off 5,000. Xiaodan, I think 35,000 is enough. Negotiation skills level 7. Zyrong was stunned. Could it be because Xiaodan is the demon king that she received such a reward? At this moment, Satan wore a mask of pain. In this way, I can't gain any confidence at all. Zyrong let out a long breath of scorching air. In short, the Duke's territory is also quite chaotic. Since all the obstacles in the game have been used, so the stumbling blocks in reality should also be revealed. Xiaodan knows you two are waiting for me in the game. They'll be right back. Next, Zyrong will make another earth-shattering exposé. This event pushed it to a climax. GM Group should also be taught a lesson. Zyrong exported the video of Xiaodan and Xiala's tracking and filming, and the distance he needs to bring down GM Group. 12 of them issued a national emergency proclamation. The cost of 1 trillion yuan. To achieve a performance of 10 trillion yuan. All of this was caused by those foolish gamers who only know how to play games. It's edited perfectly. Next step, post it to their own Saboteur's daily account. The next morning. This video has broken 1 million views. Players in the comment section immediately pointed the finger at GM Group. I told you that the price of antiquities and weapons has been soaring recently. GM is really a disgrace. Chui Jikei on the other side of the computer at this moment. Still sweating profusely, pupils dilated. How could our conversation be leaked? That kind of situation could not be heard at all. He punched Chui Jikei in the face, smashing the screen. I will tear it to shreds, no matter what. At this moment, Steward Chui reminded. The most important thing for the young master now is not to catch the rice thief. But it was the president who called. Oh no, my father found out about this. Chui Jikei, who answered the phone, was sweating all over. After all, GM Group will fully compensate for the loss of 1 trillion yuan. Meanwhile, the news report revealed the criminal activities of the GM Group. Currently, Arcadia has officially stated its position. They claim to have evidence that GM Group is hoarding large amounts of capital. But what is astonishing is that the investment amount is as high as 1 trillion yuan. At this time, the Minister's Office of Arcadia official, President Li Meiyan, had only one comment on this. It serves as a negative example for other envious groups, especially GM Group. Actually, what Li Meiyan is most interested in is the player who is manipulating everything behind the scenes. This video user named Pahuaizhe Richang. First, they filmed the slime siege, until the novice village was destroyed. Then he lured the players into becoming iron mine slaves. They gain equipment that cost players 10 million yuan to buy. Become a mining machine. Even in the game, I'm still being crazily exploited by NPCs. Now there's the Duke of Baierhai incident. He truly caused a stir in both worlds. He wants to tell us. Is the game's plot too bland? At this time, the mysterious player in Li Meiyan's mouth. He is dozing off in class at the moment. Because of Zyrong's actions. In a way, it changed the way players understand Arcadia's game. In the eyes of the students, Arcadia incident. Not only did it repeatedly dominate the news headlines, the NPCs in there actually have their own independent consciousness. It's like a second real world. Of course, Chui Jikei's future is bright. Becoming a public enemy of all players is inevitable. Zyrong also successfully taught him how to be a man. However, at this moment, the lecturer in the classroom suddenly announced. Starting today, the Department of Computer Engineering is officially renamed as the School of Virtual Reality Engineering. Today's computer industry can no longer keep up with world trends. I believe all of you have already experienced this game, Arcadia. This is the key to making virtual games concrete. Therefore, next, I will test the synchronization rate between the brain and the game for each student. The higher the value tested, it means that the stronger the talent in the virtual game. So, what is the synchronization rate of the male lead Zyrong? It is a game talent testing machine. The higher the value tested, the stronger the talent in virtual reality games. Gamers all know this. Principles of realizing virtual reality. It is the result of communication between the game console and the human brain, and the rate of electrical signal exchange between the brain and the machine is called game synchronization rate. The highest known game synchronization rate is currently 26%. However, the model student only achieved a 21% synchronization rate. I feel like my life has reached its peak. Then he pointed at the male lead, a poor student, and provocatively said, I'm looking forward to seeing you make a fool of yourself. Qin Yen Zyrong immediately laughed out loud. He lay in the test chamber as quickly as possible. I can't wait to see the academic overachiever get slapped in the face. The test began in the next instant. The result value immediately jumped to 3%. Suddenly soared to 15% but still could not stop increasing 20%, 30%, 45%, Zirong actually increased the number to 55% in one breath, thus the energy bursting forth was dazzling. The assistant quickly asked the teacher to stop the test. This anger surely indicated an accident. But the experienced testing teacher said this was not a malfunction. It is not because of the tester's terrifying synchronous operation, but because he possesses an extremely rare state of brain-computer fusion. The final test result of Zirong is 92.89%. This is a stunning number. Xiueba felt his cheeks burning as he recalled his earlier provocation. It turns out I am the Joker. Zirong happily picked off a piece of cotton wool. Why is it only 92%? It's a pity it didn't reach 100%. The reason for conducting such a test is because the world has entered the virtual reality era. In this virtual game with infinite possibilities, in-game equipment and gold coins, convertible to renminbi at a specific ratio, many derived occupations also emerged. But other bloggers teach newbies how to strengthen equipment. The male protagonist, however, was driven by the bloodline of earning money, teaching newbies how to be mining slaves. It made players spend 10 million yuan to buy game consoles. The result is working 996 every day to mine, still being frantically exploited by NPCs. Must have turned the game console into a cheap mining machine. You should know that before this. Zirong single-handedly. He destroyed the whole newbie village. And every time he causes trouble, everyone will post the videos online. Guess what I saw today? The total number of clicks has exceeded 80 million. He also earned over 14 million in traffic revenue. Now I can finally pay off the gaming pod I bought on installments. Kudang Zirong looked at the purple seaweed rice ball in her hand, but vowed to earn another 100 million. After all, as long as you cause trouble in the game, the system will reward him with a certain amount of credibility points. Find divine and devil dual pets to exchange equipment at that time. Isn't it true that before graduating from university, one has already achieved financial freedom? Because Zirong was causing trouble before, Father God borrowed the necromancer, VLR Kumo's abilities, and led a group of undead soldiers. He killed the Duke, the NPC of a fallen country, and said nothing. He led the army of the dead again, to set fire to all of their territory, offending the representatives of the holy camp. Resulting Zirong landed the game, still troubled about where to stir up trouble next. I received a server-wide new quest out of the blue. But Zirong is different from other players. He can choose the faction he wants to join. Just pondered for a while. Zirong had already conceived a brand new way to disrupt the situation. And the female player with the ID Anji Haiyanlong, because she is the highest level dark magician on the entire server. So she was recognized by the system as the strongest of the evil camp. Thus the associated task hunt the witch generates. Players of the holy faction need to judge 50 million villains and execute the Lich Alchemo. It was during the Saint Demon War 1,000 years ago. There emerged two factions, the Holy Occupation faction and the Evil Occupation faction. The two camps are like fire and water, incompatible with each other. In this game context, players' adversarial awareness will be subtly changed. This led to a very heated PK in Arcadia. The friction between the two camps always remains in a state of balance. 1. There was no excuse for an all-out war. 2. The Pope forbade adventurers from PKING in towns. However, now the pretext for a full-scale war has emerged. The rules set by the Pope have also changed. Town PK will be temporarily allowed. The scales of justice even tip towards the side of righteousness. Not because there are too many players in the holy faction, but this faction has yet to see a leader like the Pope emerge. Find the female player whose ID is in Ji Hei Yanlong, and his existence is the core that dominates all situations. However, at this moment, he was exhausted. Was even besieged by a group of paladins. Brothers, are you curious? If you kill your uncle, the first black magic wizard, what kind of special treasure chest will we get? Just as the sacred sword energy was about to hit. At the critical moment, Satan, the demon king, deflected all the sword energy with his little finger. The leading paladin simply asked in confusion. Could it be the ringwraiths who did this? Satan, the demon lord, was instantly filled with murderous intent. A tiny energy ball, the size of a booger. He instantly floated in front of the paladin. The next moment, a bone-deep pain swept over the player's whole body. Satan pointed forward. The Hellmaw almost annihilated the paladins. The remaining players of the holy profession felt a chill run down their spines. As the black momentum in Satan's hand, the players immediately fell into a state of depravity. Satan smiled seductively and said, "Look at your own body before you speak. Do you feel like it will crack in the next second?" Unsurprisingly, the next moment, all the players in front of her shattered and died. On the other hand, the female player received dozens of pop-up windows. Mingyu's oldest dark encounter. Looking back at the little demon in front of him, the female player seemed to have thought of something. Kneel before Satan immediately. Because he was determined. Satan pretended to be deep. You, little girl, are quite likable. He is just all skin and bones, looking very soft and weak. No wonder they are being suppressed by the holy camp. I came to you for a reason. Would you like to do something with me? The girl blushed after hearing this and said, It's okay. In a calm tone, Satan-sama. Satan looked down and said, You, as the top black magician in the national server, I will make you the symbol of evil. The Pope sits on the side of holiness. And we, the evil camp. How come there is no witch here? The famous dark magician sold his soul for immortality. But the girl didn't know. Unknowingly, I became the stepping stone for the male lead. This was a game between the sacred and the evil. Xing's side consists of a legion made up of countless players and NPCs. A new magic circle emerged from the girl's feet. As a dark mage, she could clearly sense the terrifying power emanating from the other side of the magical formation. Satan's brow furrowed. He was very serious. Human, I've placed a big bet on you. Hope you handle things well. The next second, the necromancer Lich Alchemo emerged from the magic circle. The pop-up window prompts that you have absorbed the Lich's essence. Congratulations on changing your job to Commander of the Martyrdom. Witch Hunt Quest changed. As a female member of the evil faction, please eliminate the Imperial Pope of the Holy Faction. And occupy the Magic Red Empire. What surprised the girl was more than that. Because of being possessed by Alzheimer, my character's attributes have increased tenfold. Such terrifying ability values. At least it allows Bo-Fu to be first. He jumped to become the first in the whole position. Following Zyrong's meaning, it is simply the balance of power between the holy and the evil. The game world is still not chaotic enough. Then Satan took out a scroll. Come, memorize the content here word for word. Arcadia's situation. It was just like what Zyrong had imagined. Players of the holy faction started forming teams everywhere to sweep away players of the evil faction. Players of the evil faction were so angry that they began to abandon their courage one after another. This is the time when the evil camp is eager for the emergence of a hero. Therefore, Xiao Dan's Lu Ping was put to use. The final showdown between evil and holiness quietly began the moment Zyrong released the video. The sorceress declared, As the top black mage in the server all those who represent the evil camp declare. Currently evil users are being maliciously killed by paladins. Game balance is thus broken, so Arcadia's leading evil class. Then let me, the number one in black magic, do it. No. Created by the Lich Alcheme of the Legion of the same age and destiny. Let's lead everyone to join the Dead Legion. Revolt against this despicable holy empire. This video's release will definitely attract a large wave of evil faction players back. But Zyrong never expected. Arcadia's official announcement will come suddenly. However, the Holy Alliance did not give up without a fight. They formed a support team. Begin to support each other. The two sides became equal. Therefore, battles began to occur non-stop in the Demon King's kingdom for 24 hours. Pop-up notification. Congratulations, you have intensified the conflict between the holy and evil factions. The battle between good and evil in Arcadia is completely out of control. Congratulations on receiving 63,921 confidence points. Zyrong also didn't think she could have much influence. It was thanks to the game company canceling the death penalty. This allowed Zyrong to reap the benefits. Because Zyrong only needs to make a big fuss, the more credible points he will get. So the angel let God activate and choose the character. Paladin Kadir Zyrong did his homework well before the ceremony. Because 1,000 years ago, it was this paladin who pierced the Lich Arukamu with an arrow. Then imprisoned in the abyss of the demon world. Trapped for thousands of years. However, the holy sword, known as the Eternal Chapter, was now firmly held in Zyrong's hand. This is the final means by which Zyrong harvests everything. At this moment, he was neither on the side of Sha nor Le, but a troublemaker. Go and execute the originator of this task. At the same time, he was so absorbed in his invincibility that he didn't realize the dark flame dragon was already lost in it. Thousands of undead behind him served him as their lord. Everyone thinks they are invincible. It is obvious. The current situation has already turned to the side of evil, facing several shrimp soldiers and crab generals guarding outside the Imperial Palace. The witch just slightly released a trace of aura. It can still make the enemy tremble with fear. With thousands of spirits pressing in, screams kept coming from the palace. Until the palace gate was pushed open. The Imperial Palace at this moment. The empty throne. The witch stood before the throne, waiting for a long time. It's unbelievable. Finally, I will gain dominion over the Crimson Kingdom. Sure, Wuxianli became the first player to annex a country. Now that I am a king, how much gold can I squeeze out of the Magic Red Kingdom in the future? Thinking about it makes me happy. At this moment, the witch was awakened by a voice. A black-robed Nahai stood at the palace gate. Thousands of undead soldiers outside the gate all died by her holy sword. Who is there? Did you kill the wraith at the entrance? The next moment, the witch unleashed the cursed sword and charged toward Xylong. Xylong, however, immediately let out an evil smile. She mumbled the holy knight's incantation. The next moment, awakened, it erupted with dazzling golden light, easily repelling the demon swordsman. A flash of horror ran through the witch's heart. Because the holy sword was in Xylong's hand at this moment, even made her soul feel a trace of strategy. I said, since you have obtained the power to disrupt the balance, and even taken over a country, you should be satisfied now. The witch was flustered. How did you know about these plans? Who are you exactly? Xylong's mouth unconsciously curved upwards. You ask who I am? I am your creditor. Come to take back the power I lent you. He saw the holy sword in Xylong's hand. The witch, Alchemer, only felt fear and anxiety in her heart. A pop-up informs you that you are bound by a huge divine shackle. Zhong is your subject of judgment forever. The witch was left with only unwillingness and disbelief. Wrapped in a holy aura, Zai suddenly gave a wicked smile. Madam, your Cinderella magic is also time to be undone. This is the most Jian male lead I have ever seen. He first allowed the witch to obtain the strongest necromancy. He was overcome with emotion. After ascending the throne he had long desired. And when he thought of the good life of exploiting the people in the future, the male protagonist decided to give her all his happiness. He was slain by the holy sword beneath the throne. The dragon-slaying sword has a root that can restrain Wan Lin. Even the strongest necromancer would tremble in fear. Your Cinderella magic also faded afterwards. And I should take back the power I lent you. How dare the witch Moya humiliate me? I am the first founding father. What qualifications do you have to make me afraid, a newcomer who has not even made the list? The next moment, the summoning magic is generated. It was sealed by this holy sword for 1,000 years. But it was too late for the witch to escape. Might as well fight it out. As her chanting ended, 3 ultimate undead were resurrected and summoned by the magic circle. He can slay the dragon, but he is not in a hurry. Only the last chapter of the book emitted a buzzing sound. A sword ray longer than her bloomed. Pop-up tip. Activate the breaking evil power. Damage against evil attributes increases by 80%. What's the use of big? You want it to be thick and long like my sword glow. Come, pathetic little wraith. Your soul should also rest in peace. The next moment, the ultimate undead was defeated by a touch of holy light. The witch felt the pressure multiply. If this kind of sword light hit me, would it be the same outcome? I said. What exactly is the origin of this holy sword you have? Xylong doesn't know either. After all, this is the angel's divine soul. The weapons offered. The next moment, Xylong used his sword glow to lift the witch into the night sky. The starlight of holiness and evil turns to ashes with the night. The players around him were full of envy. Are we playing the same game? Players with good eyesight. He immediately recognized it as the dark flame dragon, the Black Witch. But why have I never seen this opponent before? The time to gain air superiority had come. The sorceress quickly unleashed her dark magic to summon. The result was just about to come out of the dead knight. But he was frightened back by the light of the dragon-slaying holy sword. Pop-up notification. Death Knight has fallen into eternal rest. Summoning the undead is temporarily unavailable. The witch thought the dragon-slaying holy sword could only limit the summons a few times. She regretted it when she tried again. No matter how many times she summons, the holy sword is more efficient than fairies. Instantly melt the undead death. A necromancer without the dead is destined to fail. The holy sword is simply their natural enemy. Madam, it's time to wrap up. At this moment Xylong, although his whole body was radiant, was in the eyes of the witch. She is the most evil demon king. Skill avoids judgment. If this skill hits, it will ignore all armor. Deals 500% damage against enemies with the evil attribute. Which pop-up notification, your body is being devoured by the divine sword. Akamo the Lich's soul howled in agony. The fatal injury plunged you into a state of ice death. Before dying, the witch was very confused. Why did you do this to me? The witch hunt should have ended long ago. Even if you defeat me, it won't do the holy side any good. Xylong's lips curled up slightly. I was waiting for this on purpose. And you must die after capturing the Amohong kingdom. I am not the last piece of the puzzle to complete the confinement. But you don't need to hate me, because after that, no matter what the holy or evil camp is, everyone will become happy because of your death this time. This is why I created you. At this moment, Arcamo recognized the person in front of him. Isn't this guy the player who borrowed my power before? After the verdict of prophet, the witch let out an unwilling roar. At the same time, the soul of the Lich Arcamo was also wounded in the dragon's slaying. Pop-up message. The contract between Arcamo and the witch has been forcibly annulled. The strongest necromancer in history, thus reduced to ashes. Xylong looked at the holy sword in his hand and sighed. Don't be too hard on yourself, madam. The moment this mission appeared, your fate was sealed. Actually, she knew that He Yanlong was more reluctant to leave, even though all this was so unreal. But at least I sat on the throne, experienced a power I had never felt before, and enjoyed it for a while. The moment the female player died, Xylong ended the angel's descent. A pop-up message appears. The Lich King Alchemo has sunk into eternal slumber. The witch hunt quest is complete. The Holy Camp has also met the victory conditions. Xylong is now expecting Arcadia in this ambiguous situation. What conclusion will he reach? At the same time, AI Alice received a red conflict pop-up. She began to calculate the final result of this witch hunt. Because the Holy Faction's victory condition is to kill 50,000 Holy players and kill the Lich Alchemo. Currently, the Holy Faction has only completed one of them. However, although more than 40,000 of the target of 50,000 kills were achieved, it still did not fully meet the target. Looking at the evil camp. 1. Kill the Pope. 2. Occupy the Mahong Kingdom. But the evil faction only completed the occupation, not the assassination of the Pope. In terms of completion, the Holy Faction's weighting can reach 96%. Both sides only fulfilled one condition. The final result can only be one. Therefore, it is announced to all servers. The Holy Camp and the Evil Camp are tied. This caused heated discussion among the players of the Holy Alliance. The pop-up window then prompted that the Holy Camp will issue rewards based on user contribution. In the future, the trigger rate of hidden classes in the Holy Camp will increase. But it immediately attracted the attention of the Demon Realm. Perhaps it might develop into the Demon Realm. Final pop-up notification, sprouting case of Oblivion. Related task, witch hunt ends. Arcadia Continent Law enacted. No indiscriminate PK between saints and evils. The game's developers all want to grab Zyrome and beat him up. Because this is how it turned out. It was all planned by Zyrome, the male lead. At this moment, he was enjoying the reward that belonged to him alone. Congratulations, host, for achieving a historic feat. To overturn the situation in the second continent of Arcadia. The scales of good and evil are balanced. Congratulations on receiving 210,000 credibility points. And this is how the Fluff Disruptor's occupation becomes stronger. I'm really looking forward to seeing what fun things will happen next. The pop-up message shows that the second stage of the career mission has ended. Special rewards will be given to the Wandering Vagabond's profession under special circumstances. Start measuring the player's contribution. The next moment, Zyrone jumped up from the throne in fright. This reward truly solved my urgent problem. Congratulations on gaining the skill of credibility. You can give inanimate objects credibility to change their causality. That is to say, can I directly enhance the weapons that newbies can equip with credibility, and then sell them as artifacts for newbies to auction? An initial iron sword worn by a level 11 newbie. But his attributes are even stronger than level 70 epic equipment. The key is that even level 11 newcomers can wear it. The result was just listed on the auction house. It was snapped up by hundreds of thousands of game users at high prices. Yuan Lai opened the second stage reward of the hidden occupation and unexpectedly obtained a heaven-defying skill. The granting of credibility. As the name suggests, it can give inanimate objects credibility. So he immediately took out his newbie equipment. A rusty iron sword. This is a weapon made for beginners. Attack is only a pitiful single digit. Shinemo Schwanchong teased. Master, do you want a bittersweet experience? Zyrone raised the rusty sword and activated his skill, bestowing it. The next moment, a golden light filled with karmic power surged from the sword. Game pop-up notification. Browsing this item's properties and past experience strengthens the need for 9,000 trust points. 9,000 is equivalent to the price of obtaining an epic weapon. Berong decisively chooses. After all, curiosity overcame his stinginess. I hope the enhancement result won't disappoint me. Pop-up message. Trustworthiness successfully granted. Rust sword settings have changed. The next second, the rusty sword let out a sorrowful wail. Zyrone used the rusty sword to slaughter newbies in the past. Suddenly surging to the surface of the rusty sword. A pop-up window indicates that the rusty sword has been enhanced. Congratulations on obtaining the new equipment Blood of Indulgence, and it is the first and only equipment with unique attributes on the entire server. Attack power has been increased by 5,000% compared to before. Durability has been increased by 100,000%. Even more, heaven-defying traits like Bloodlust and Frenzy appeared. Only the appearance has not changed much. Zyrone changed his mind. Only novice equipment is so heaven-defying then. Therefore, Zyrong couldn't wait to open the warehouse. Take out the magma maker that was previously used for mining. So what will happen to this epic equipment after it's enhanced? Could it be that mining efficiency can be increased hundreds or thousands of times? Zyrong couldn't wait to give him credibility. The result is obvious. The enhancement failed. The reason, however, is that the item has no properties and no past. The rusty sword can be strengthened because I used it to kill tens of thousands of new players. The maker of the Devil's Lair has even dug out the coffin fruits of angels. The only difference Zyrong could think of was, the object is to be bestowed upon someone in the continent of Altadia. This has caused a direct impact. The Demon King Satan was shocked to hear that Zyrong had spent 9,000 points upgrading his trash equipment. Then he had to sell it, and Satan felt a pang of pain. Master, if you lack gold coins, please tell us. I will exchange 1 gold coin for 1 credibility point. 9,000 credibility points. In the real world, it's almost enough to exchange him for 100 million. Zyrong had a face full of, I have dividends from Baron Mihar every month. Plus, he became a gaming blogger. It's at least 8 figures after a month. He's already achieved financial freedom. What would make Satan doubt is that you created blood immersion. Why don't you use it yourself? Sure, Zyrong had considered it. But if this weapon appears at the Altadia auction house, what trends will emerge then? So put it on the shelves and see. The result was when blood immersion appeared at the auction, all players in Altadia instantly went into an uproar. Some people would even sell their houses and get divorced to buy it. Some people even sell their companies to raise money to buy it. Some unions are willing to spend all their money to buy it. Overnight, a beginner's weapon was snatched by the boxing network. In the blink of an eye, the bidding climbed to over 5,000 gold coins. 1 gold coin equals 100,000 RMB. This sword is worth more than 50 million yuan. You need to know that there are a total of 6 equipment levels in the game. Common, rare, uncommon, epic, legend, finally is myth. Unique level equipment. The design team hasn't finished it yet. Is it a system bug? So the officials righteously intervened. Forcefully stopped the bidding on blood indulgence. He even treated this equipment as a blastback beast. The customer service department was once again greeted by a group of players. However, Arcadia's operations department must prevent the appearance of equipment that would destroy the game's balance. Afterward, wherever users gathered in the game, there would definitely be discussions about this equipment. But in some people's eyes, more prominent than the 2 words, unique, was the auctioneer's ID, Decacy. Is this Dex the Dex? This is the esports Shadow Shield's genius player. Being an esports player is like being one of the 6 little dragons. After all, he is the casual knight who created the record of 1 to 5 against the descent of the gods. To Sanwan, this guy is a legend. But for some people he is a question. For fellow professional players, he is a formidable rival. So Zyrong is playing Arcadia. That's how it spread. 'Cause Zyrong inexplicably had a unique piece of equipment confiscated. It's hard to say. 'Cause Zyrong Shurjinshur Taiwan Lu. He turned his thoughts to other things. This equipment's performance is not outrageous. So does this mean the game developers are intentionally targeting me? And they can't find out my real identity. Even though I've exposed my ID, they still can't find me. She can't even call me. Kay chose to recycle the equipment in this extreme way. Attorney Dai wants me to actively contact them. So even if my ID is exposed in the future, they won't be able to track me. Even less able to take coercive measures against me. Is this also the power possessed by the hidden class wanderer of troubled times? Openly causing trouble, even the game operators can't intervene. What intrigued Zyrong the most was who in the world had created such a terrifying hidden profession. Anyway, if blood indulgence is gone, we can create another one. But it proved that my personal safety was guaranteed. I will have no worries about making trouble later. It was exactly as Kizarong had just guessed. The order to confiscate the equipment was given by the Guofu Operation Deployment. This sword's form is exactly the same as the one the Novice 2MO previously held. At that time, even with ministerial authority, his user information could not be found. This time, we couldn't find out who this Dex is. There must be some connection between them. And this equipment, worth 50 million yuan, was confiscated by the operator. I don't believe this kid won't reveal his calculations. Dex, I have you completely under my control. As a result, Minister Zhang worked overtime in the customer service department for a whole week. Everyone waited until they were exhausted, but they still couldn't get a call from Zyrong. Damn, Dex is so calm. So the minister reported the matter to his superiors. President Li Meiyan, you must uphold justice for me. Li Meiyan, whose face was as cold as ice, suddenly twitched the corner of her mouth. Alright, surrendering is indeed a grievance. Let's just strike back. I remember Quan Minhin minister previously mentioned a game event plan. Right, it's the one you're thinking of. Get ready, we can start executing tomorrow. As expected, the activity is called Tu Diao Ye. It's called You hit me once, I hit you once, everyone gets a fair hit. Bamboo hair fight. Arcadia even issued a server-wide announcement for this. The rules of the bamboo hair war are as simple as its name. No matter what level the player is, one hit and they're dead. The player's weapon is only bamboo hair, although it can release skills. But only bamboo hair can cause damage. The last surviving player wins. Zirong knew at a glance that this activity was for him. They only know that there is a user named Dex, but they don't know the user's game IP address or appearance. Of course, the last survivor. You can choose one piece of equipment from the eliminated users. The official will give you an identical one. Zirong's lips curled into a mischievous smile. This activity is so fun, it's a loss if you don't participate. Come here, Ma. Let's see how I'll mess you up this time. This bamboo bristle ignores all defenses. As long as you hit the opponent's vital point. Even if the enemy is the number 1 player on the server. That also has to be a one-hit kill according to the rules. It is difficult to control one's appearance. Discovered a bug that can ignore the rules. This is a name called You hit me, I hit you. Everyone gets a fair hit in the bamboo hair battle. On this map, the player's only weapon is a bamboo feather. Although players can release skills. But only Zhumao can deal fatal damage. Only the last player alive wins. The first stage of the Zhumao War. Only need to be in the melee of 3,292,671 players. Until 1,000 people remain. The bamboo hair war will enter its second stage. The game has just begun. Identical. Everyone is desperately fighting. At this time, there was a level 25 player who killed a level 100 master by surprise. Zhan is happy to open champagne. The next second, he died under someone else's bamboo pole. Some players blindly kill to satisfy their desires. Some players rely on absolute strength. This time, the object he chose to deify. Called Dusk Wraith. And in this bamboo battle, players are most afraid of bamboo that breaks their defense. Kehuanghan Yiling. However, it can avoid all physical attacks. At this time, the players who are attacking Zirong secretly. Brain concussion due to ineffective attack. Zirong then turned her head, her lips slightly curved. Don't you understand? You can't hit me. Chasing the bamboo thorns, the attacker was already eliminated and dead. Zirong knew very well that the most important thing for this event was to stay low-key. But if there were no witnesses, I won't be eye-catching either. Then quickly eliminate them all. Leadership mid to high-level players. Established the Zhumao Innovation Group. It is said to be for inheriting players who use bamboo hair to commit violence. In fact, isn't it just to survive? Zirong scoffed at this. The world is a big place, and it has all kinds of people. At the command of Shonao, the whole team rushed at Zirong. 'Cause Zirong was not afraid. The enemy's base, however, wasn't damaged at all. Zirong's evil smile carried a hint of sarcasm. My passive ability is in a non-combat state. Completely ignores physical attacks. Are you talking about cheating? In the next instant, Zirong achieved the legendary feat of breaking 4 records in a single second. The leader was stunned. Just how high is this guy's game synchronization rate? You're next. Give me the bamboo hair with extreme speed boost. He instantly completed Dongchuan. Just 3 seconds after its formation, the Zhumao Gixin Tuan dissolved on the ground. Zirong, who yearns for a worthy opponent, hopes to meet someone with exceptional skills. Otherwise, the game would be too boring. At this time, a pop-up notification indicated that Ning had defeated 1,000 people. The number of players still alive has reached 2,813. Previously, tens of thousands of people could be eliminated in an hour. Since then, the small fry have been huddled together for warmth. The numbers are declining slowly. It seems I still have to find them out one by one. At this moment, Zirong heard the girl's scream. Result next second. The girl couldn't stop the car. Her straight body crashed into Zirong's body. The two were now one. The girl was being chased by the second-best mage in the national server. The Starry Witch smirked and said to Zirong, "Since you've made it this far, it means you have something unique about you. I hope you won't interfere in matters between girls." Zirong pondered for a moment, and seemed to understand. The result came the moment Zirong left. A pop-up window prompts the task update. He wanted to swear after reading his content. At this moment, the Starlight Witch gradually approached the girl. Just as the girl was about to accept death. At the moment when he was about to be pierced through by thousands of bamboo spears. Zirong still deeply helped the girl block the fatal blow. "Aren't you supposed to be leaving?" Zirong gritted her teeth. "How do I know there will be such a damn mission? I have to protect this foolish guy." Originally, Zijung received the 3rd stage task of the hidden profession. Recruiting future helpers. As long as you encounter players with a specific icon above their heads, they are the ones you need to recruit. It was obvious that the red-haired girl had the logo on her head. It turned out that the girl was a disciple of the great mage Xingyue from NPC. The great magician created starlight magic and moonlight magic. The inheritor of starlight magic is Stella, the second-rank starlight witch in the entire server. And the inheritor of the moon magic is naturally the red-haired girl, Jelena, right before our eyes. This is the order the great magician left for the two before he left. If these two demonic books are combined into one can become a great magician beyond the limits of humanity. But this opportunity for Jelena, it's not an opportunity to become stronger. It is a curse that she will be hunted for her entire life. So there was just a chase scene. The strong, stiff velvet made Stella let her go unconditionally. Xing Guangman frowned. If I say I don't want to? With your newbie equipment you're a waste. As Stella's influence spread, the magic chain flashed and activated. The quick release of the kitten's fluff couldn't be avoided. So this was an extreme deceleration. Manhwa was weak. The magic of the Trinity. Immediately after that, Stella unleashed the fiery lightning. Frozen by ice, bound by magic. 3 skills with little power but negative effects stopped abruptly. Zerong can ignore physical attacks, but he can't resist negative effects. He just endured it, and he did so for a reason. Damn, my vision is blurred. Until Xingguang Sidala walked up to him. In his eyes, Zirong is like a lamb with a lamb. In Zirong's eyes, Stella is the lamb. At the moment when Jumeng's spines shot towards Zirong, Fanchuang prompts you that you cannot attack this target. Stella Tongkang Zuzhou. The next second, a sting came from Sunio. Zirong completed the counterkill against the second-best mage in the national server. This battle is already destined for your failure, and I am immune to all physical attacks. Before dying, Stella let out some unwilling trash talk. But he still died in Zirong's hands. The red-haired girl next to D looked fiercely. What kind of monster is this guy? Jelena then ran over. Xiang Zirong bowed 90 degrees to express his gratitude. After 3 minutes of falling, Jelena just finished telling Zirong about the feud between her and Stella. So what are your plans for the future? The days I was hunted by the server's second-best mage in the game. Not really good. Upon Zirong's inquiry, it was learned that the girl is currently level 43. It's known that the strongest player in the server has already reached level 100 plus. Level 43 is considered mid to low tier. Kumingning is already level 43, but Jelena is still wearing the level 15 novice set. The girl has become Ji about this because she is short of money from running around everywhere. So I can't do anything about it. Kazerong suddenly thought of something. Don't I have the ability to give credible information? And she is the helper chosen by my hidden class. Maybe it's really possible. Then Zirong excitedly approached the girl and said quickly, "Quickly, take off all your equipment and give it to me. This is a novice set worn by a level 15 player. After equipping, it will accumulate and lengthen the release speed of the host's blade magic." The result was reinforced by Zirong with the endowment of credibility. Miao Biancheng Lequan Fu Wei EGB de Kai Niao Xinzhuang. However, in order to pass the second round of the bamboo hair battle, Zirong, however, came up with a bug that would allow her to reap the benefits of a fisherman. The terrifying bonus of the only Tier 1 set is not the release of high-level magic, but it allows the mage to use first-order magic infinitely. Because a level 1 suit can reduce the consumption of level 1 magic by 99%, and the only ultimate staff. But it allows the character to cast the skill without chanting. It just so happens that 2 players with bad eyesight attack the bend. Zirong smiled playfully. These 2 little monsters, Jelena, are yours. It's just a test of the equipment's performance. The 2 of them immediately flew into a rage. Immediately jumped up and rushed towards Jelena. The pop-up window prompts you that the suit effect has been activated. The barrier that originally required a 2-second incantation to appear. It was surprisingly finished in a blink of an eye. Even if the opponent has a numerical advantage, Jelena doesn't need to take them seriously, because a single extreme magic missile can be released by her at a rate of 180 per second. Then he would gather and release 100 magic missiles. The power unleashed is enough to instantly kill any mid-level player. Finally, he used bamboo hair to kill the 2 clowns. The pop-up message just reminded me that there are 1,000 survivors left. The first round of the bamboo hair battle has ended. What Zirong didn't know was that today was the birth of Jelena, the future PvP maniac. At this time, the advantage of the supporters has already emerged. Due to Jelena's arrival, the performance of the helper in the game, it can also help Zhejiang get reliable points. And the remaining 1,000 players, all have been teleported back to the starting square. At this moment, the referee announced the new rules for the second round. Due to the fact that players were found to possess physical damage immunity in the first round, so the next one to be hit by the bamboo hair. It can also be determined as magic damage. This means that the absolute defense of the fluffy fur cannot withstand the bamboo hair. This clearly shows that the authorities are deliberately targeting him. Zirong's classical Chinese, however, elicited laughter from all religions. Xiao Dan, my time to party is coming up next. Then at this moment, the referee added a new rule to balance the battle between bamboo and fur. The player's equipment will be completely disabled. It means that the newly strengthened rookie divine equipment is no longer useful. Under such difficult conditions, how could Zirong make a big splash? However, starting now, the poison gas will spread from the outer edges of the map to the central area. The speed of the poison gas is equal to the speed of a human running. The referee announced the start of the second round of the Zhu Mao battle. Please do not stop, everyone move. However, Zirong at this moment noticed the second new vulnerability. At the same time, Zirong proposed to act separately from Jelena. Jelena thought she had been taken advantage of again. Zirong realistically explained. If I were to abandon you now, I couldn't have saved you in the first place. But I'm very happy to be partners with Jelena. The window prompt tells you that Dex has initiated a good-spirited interaction. So, see you again, Jelena. Zirong turned around and activated the demon god, Duwang Agiakali. As his name suggests, his ability is extreme poison resistance. It is not an exaggeration to say that he is immune to all poisons. At the moment when the vice god was completed, Zirong even began to have an affinity for toxicity. The original intention of the second round of Zhu Mao War was to let us go in the direction without poison gas. But it doesn't say that you can't go against the grain. Players fear the consequences of poison. This only leads them to resign in the center of the map. And I just need to avoid being eliminated to pass without injury. When all 1,000 people have been devoured by the poison gas, I will be able to reap the benefits. Pop-up notification, you have entered a poisoned area. The next second, his passive skill, all toxins unclear, activated. Special skill blood poison generation activated. You can immerse the surrounding toxins in your blood. Zirong guessed right. This level of poison gas was identical to the poison kingpin. Simply insignificant. Zirong used Kushindian twice without hesitation, just to get the reward for winning the championship. At this moment, the center of the map is shrinking due to the safe zone shrinking. A magnificent battle erupted out of necessity. Countless skills bombardment man. Yet amidst the slaughter, a strongest king was born. His ID is Cassius. At this moment, the 4 players in the central area decided to team up against Kita Kwasai Saheo Biu Huang. Ta Jinji Iju Mao Daijian. Game sword skills used. No longer limited to character skills. It's mostly his self-created operations. Because only Zhu Mao can perform the fatal blow in this taboo. At this moment, he was targeted by the released marksman. But his keen insight even had time to control the character to complete the dodge. The archer is hiding 800 meters away. Cassius even accurately captured the shooter's position. In the blink of an eye, he reached the archer's position. He leaped up and used the bamboo feather as a spear. The archer reacted, but it was already too late. Long Wang cleverly completed the charging and release in midair. What bothered Cassius was that his own operations were dazzlingly complex. That guy hasn't shown up yet. Dex, where are you hiding? Because only 2 players remain alive in the second round of the Bamboo Hair War at this moment. Pop-up notification, the second round of Zhu Mao War has ended. The third round of the Bamboo Hair battle is the 1v1 deciding moment. Kazerong Chua Haigo Zai Duwali Mei Yo Chulai. But the poison gas is still shrinking. As long as he stays long enough, only he will survive in the end. It's exciting to think about getting free rewards then. At this moment, however, Zirong has caught the attention of the Department of Plot Planning. Players at level 200 can't resist this poison. Zirong simply ignored him for a full 30 minutes. The minister was so angry his eyes were bloodshot. If this continues, he is bound to win. So he immediately used his level 3 administrative privileges. Go to the game AI Alice. Alice's tips. Successfully adjusted the poison to the highest level and resistance skills are nullified. However, Minister Quan Hanming used management authority against the player. Will be punished with salary reduction, price reduction, chairman, etc. Seeing that the punishment was relatively light, Quan Hanming resolutely decided to accept all punishments. Unexpectedly, Zirong also received a poison change notification on the other side. Clearly this is direct targeting from the officials. This poison gas effect even Satan panicked. Even if the Poison King himself descended, it would be difficult to resist. Zirong looked at the other survivor, Ailey, but wasn't surprised at all. One was himself, and the other was called Cassius. This guy is definitely coming for me. Ailadu is exactly the same as last time. I just don't know what he is doing in the game Arcadia. Will it be even more powerful? Because Zerong arrived in the toxic area. Pop-up message, Bamboo Hair War Round 3 Final Battle. The battle officially begins at this very moment. The sixth brother didn't use any medicine but stayed in the poison circle for an hour. Cassius was once defeated by Zerong. Zerong's appearance trampled on his decade of efforts. Because an RPG game was a global phenomenon 20 years ago. Until Icarus landed. The player with the ID name, Caxiasi, has never fallen from the top of the server. Until the player named Deke appeared. Therefore, Casillas was completely defeated. It even feels like the past 10 years have been in vain. Zerong's action. It made him collapse on the spot. The account of the first Dex in the whole server. Deactivate now. And his pride of being the top student for 10 years. But Zerong catalyzed it within a day. Currently, Cassius's hidden skills in Arcadia. Called Rapid Selection, also known as Full Equipment Proficiency. This allows him to bring Icarus fighting style here. That's right, Dex. This is my chance to surpass you. Zerong, however, didn't give him a chance. At the moment Zerong stepped into the finals. The final round of the Zhumao War quietly began. Since the opponent is him. Then the angel will activate God. Choose the Celestial Throne, All-Weapon Master Calypso. A pop-up message indicates device God has been successfully activated. Perhaps no one can possess the same speed as the Master. Okay, the practice is over. He used a cunning strategy to begin. The next moment, Zerong disappeared. When Feng appeared again. Casillas was forced into a passive block. Casillas gnashed his teeth and stared at his nemesis. Listen to Zerong's performance. He quickly activated his skill and made his selection. Under the one-time weapon switch, Cassius selected his proud long sword. Looking at the imminent attack, Zhejiang remained calm and collected. The king of all skills is activated. Like Cassius, Zhejiang also condensed a long sword to complete the Godang. He was surprised too. Does that mean only you are allowed to use the skill to switch equipment? Cassius stared at Zerong in disbelief. The more he fought, the angrier he became. The offensive was as unstoppable as a fierce storm. Their skills have the same origin. But Zerong's myriad soldiers king is even more overbearing. He only needs to transform to switch equipment. And Cassius has to spend time switching. So, Cassius immediately moved 100 meters away from Zerong. He inserted the bamboo bristles, which could cause fatal wounds, into the ground. Then she stretched out her left hand and began to summon a weapon. Zerong frowned slightly. What on earth is this guy planning to do? The next moment, a simple and ancient ceremonial sword was drawn by Cassius. The blade car was raised high, like dragon silver sweating, instantly immersing people in the passionate battle. Zerong's face turned serious. Just as he was thinking about how to fight back, a thin, unrestrained sword ray flashed past his stubborn resistance. A sword aura pierced the sky, a final attack from Cassius. Hunchuang prompt, you have received a fatal injury. Fracture and bleeding. The negative status takes effect now. It's a bamboo hair battle, so any injury other than bamboo hair removal will not be fatal. But it can make players fall into negative states. The next moment, Cassius disappeared from the spot. Dex, fortune favors the bold. Are you also giving up the counterattack? Zerong was fuming, but he had to admit that resisting was the only thing he could do at the moment. Could it be that this sword has a terrifying attribute bonus, otherwise his speed wouldn't have improved so much? At this moment, the Grand Weapon Master, Carapusso, suddenly tried to contact Zai. At the same time, Angel Michael also received a message. The Master, Cabepusso, asked me to tell you. The sword that just beheaded you was his, lost in Arcadia. This is for selecting the successor. Besides giving special professions, this sword also comes with a skill-teaching necklace. As the player becomes stronger, more inherited skills in the necklace will be unlocked. But now, for some reason, he could not sense the necklace's aura anymore. That's why I want to have a direct conversation with you. Zerong then understood. Why are the skills Cassius obtained so similar to the Heavenly Throne? Zerong had no choice but to ask Cassius first. By the way, did you get this sword from a quest? Cassius immediately became vigilant. How did you guess that? This sword was the reward received from a strange wanderer. Any questions? Pop-up notification. Calypso is entering an excited state. Quickly ask where my necklace is. So, besides the sword, does Cassius also have a necklace? How did Cassius Dex know so clearly? So he explained that the necklace originally had a tag saying, unidentified equipment. Asking revealed that an appraisal scroll must be purchased for identification. I think this necklace is quite ordinary, so there's no need to spend money on authentication. Finally, it was packed and sold with other miscellaneous items by me. I even earned 15 copper coins. Calypso heard the mad rage. He could only frantically send a pop-up message to Zyrone. The pop-up window could not soothe Calypso's heart. At this moment, the heavenly throne is actually asking for it. He willingly consumes his own credibility, hoping he can completely lower it within Zirone's body. Zirone is fine. But does Xiala really have such a possibility? After some thought, Michael agreed to Calypso's request. After all, the master-disciple relationship can also become the basis for intervention. But in the name of my Archangel Michael, I grant full access to Calypso, the weapons master, for the time being. Xia Dun Zirone's body was pierced by the immense divine sword aura. Is this truly the embodiment of a god? Cassius shivered involuntarily. A pop-up window informs that Calypso has successfully possessed a god, the body control is temporarily transferred, and Zirone switches to the spectator perspective. Zirone is fuming right now. He heard that you sold the necklace, right? You are so short-sighted that you don't understand my good intentions. This thing. In an instant, Zirone's body was filled with brilliant golden divine power. Dozens of divine weapons surrounded him. The aura of, I am the only supreme being in heaven and earth. Cassius' soul was shaken. His body couldn't move at all. At this moment, Zirone could be considered a god descending to the mortal realm. Coming at him, he slammed his mighty great sword at Cassius. Because of the bamboo hair war, Cassius could only fall into the most serious, frozen, fatally wounded by Sutuo, and other such states. But his body had to endure the pain of being torn apart. This strike contains the ultimate sword shadow. The result is exactly as the pop-up window prompted. Jiujian, the name of the ritual, wavered. Could it be that the swordsmanship triggered by Zirone attracted him? Calypso flew into a rage. Useless thing. It seems you really don't know. Your skill is called rapid selection. Do you know that swift selection is not simply made for full weapon proficiency? It embodies my expectations for mastering the weapons that exist in the world. This power, fueled by my blood and sweat, controls these weapons. When he reaches the pinnacle of his cultivation, his skills will be purified into the king of all weapons. Cassius looked blank. Could what Zirone said really not be nonsense? At the moment you lost the necklace, you lost the teachings I left you. Your original self. You should have received my ultimate power long ago, but you. Cassius choked for a long time and asked. Dex, you? No. May I ask who you are? Once a treasured sword, bravely defending the celestial throne. The precious necklace that coexists with the treasure sword. It is the key to unlock the inheritance of the heavenly realm throne. However, the necklace will be passed down as the heir ascends, continuously unlocking new weapon skills. But the girl offered 15 tongbao. Jian was sold to the wandering merchant. The Chinese weapon master Calypso, who was proficient in Wenyan, exploded on the spot. He spared no effort to use up all his credibility points. Also, descend the complete form onto the male host Rome. It's just to give this disobedient apprentice a good lesson. At this moment, Calypso was secretly heartbroken. Do you know this inherited sword? This means you have the opportunity to use your original skills. Evolve into the king of all armies. And the necklace you see for sale can make your future reach the pinnacle of success. Cassius choked up for a long time and asked. Dex, you? No, may I ask who you are? Why can my sword sing? And why do you know everything about me? And Calypso, who was originally furious, at the moment she saw the sword, his eyes softened. Long time no see, partner. And this was the first time that Cassius discovered his sword actually had abundant emotion. Therefore, he buzzed, seemingly in response to this millennium of longing. But partner, we are fortunate to have met a benefactor, at least allowing me to borrow someone else's body to see you again. Calypso laughed brightly. Although you're currently a slow and foolish holder, at least you have a good heart. And I don't have time to help you find another one. Cassius was stunned. This guy was actually talking to his sword. The power of Calypso that is currently on Zirone is gradually fading, my old friend. Be sure to take good care of this foolish heir. At this moment, a pop-up message appeared, suggesting the use of an old sword named Ishimingzi. It decided to understand the current situation. Therefore, the energy hidden in the old sword finally erupted. He seemed to be unable to find his home, and that pop-up notification, old sword successfully assigned a new owner, and she regained her true name. Equipment hidden ability unlocked. The ordinary old sword, which was originally of common grade, was transformed into a rare grade after it was unsealed. And the task of finding the lost necklace begins. The moment he became the master, Cassius could clearly sense the emotions of the old sword. Only then did he understand what true unity between man and sword meant. How foolish he was to sell the necklace. Calypso is playing and laughing. My incompetent disciple, don't let me down again. A warning from the cold window. The creditworthiness is insufficient. Calypso fully descended. Zyrong regained control of his body. Zyrong felt a hint of confusion. This was the true power of the heavenly throne. Cassius also finally understood. Zyrong, who had just been possessed by a god, was his master. The next second, he collapsed on the ground. Zyrong was somewhat alarmed. No wonder she didn't fall even though the negative statuses were so strong just now. It turns out she was holding on. This guy is really something. Because it was the battle of bamboo and feather, Cassius's character did not die. But it couldn't escape being deeply hurt by Zyrong's madness. The sword and necklace were rewards given out at the same time. There must be a hidden mission. This has become a standard in games. Did you only play the game Icarus for those 10 years? What an antique. Caxiasi was confused. Dekexi, what exactly is your profession? It wasn't you who just fought against me. Zyrong had to use her hidden attached class to muddle through. Then he pointed to the bamboo bristles in his hand. We haven't decided the winner yet. Cassius breathed a sigh of relief. Dex, you know very well. I need at least 3 minutes to break free from the frozen death state. There is no doubt that he will be tortured to death by the surging poison first. So Deke, this round is your complete victory. Zyrong felt it was a pity. If only he could have another serious duel with you. Cassius cried with pain, unable to laugh. Next time we meet, I am definitely the one who laughs last. Zyrong gripped the bamboo bristles tightly in his hand. You are such a competitive woman. Then let's see each other next time. Zyrong used bamboo and fruit to decisively eliminate Caxiasi. The pop-up window announced that the winner of the Jumo War had been decided. Congratulations to player Deke for winning the final victory. The main battle of Jumao War was live-streamed. Countless championship contenders are showing their skills before the camera. For example, he was killed instantly by a single strike before being carried by Rome. Starlight Witch Stella. For example, Zyrong's 1-second 4-break operation. It only takes 3 seconds. Let the newly established Zumoj cluster be dissolved immediately. And the strongest champion candidate of the bamboo and hair battle, Cassius. He was defeated by him again, undoubtedly. Dex is the MVP of the whole game. Note that in the real world. Dex, who carries a weapon, wants to withdraw his ID from Yashao. The legend of the god descending from heaven and dancing with a hammer is right here. This time, Zyrong won the championship again with the ID, Dekasi. It instantly sparked a wave of worship on the game forum. The dark black flame dragon, previously defeated by Zyrong, finally understood why he had been so utterly vanquished. Fortunately, I did not participate in the Jumo War this time. However, what everyone is expecting is what kind of championship reward Zyrong will get. The next second, the NPC referee threw out a mysterious treasure chest. This contains all the equipment once held by eliminated users of Zyrong. Zyrong can copy one from inside as a reward. As soon as Zyrong opened it, a row of rare and highly sought-after equipment was available for him to choose from. NPC thinks Zyrong will be greatly surprised. Jiegwa Zyrong turned his palm over and over for a long time, but he wasn't satisfied at all. What kind of garbage equipment is this? After all, as long as it's credible enough. He is looking for a small but messy shop that sells mythical-level equipment. However, when Zyrong saw this equipment, he was in great pain. He began to repeatedly confirm with the NPC that it was truly possible to obtain equipment from eliminated users. Can I choose any of them? The NPC curiously leaned in to take a look. Even he was shocked after seeing it. The quadruped NPC stammered for a long time, speechless. Kazirong chue jingyensi daoja chue shirbe tautai yonghu suachi diji bei. Great NPC Ghost Lord, this choice must be right. You just promised. The NPC's CPU is burning up right now. The live stream of choosing equipment was muted by the official due to privacy concerns, but everyone could see the NPC's facial expressions. When everyone wondered what Zyrong had chosen, the NPC finally relented. According to the rules, this one-hit kill bamboo hair is indeed also a player-equipped item. Even if bamboo hair can completely ignore all magic resistance and physical resistance. Even if Shumao hits the enemy's vital point, they can die directly. But it was the only equipment Zyrong considered acceptable. It would be more accurate to say, Zyrong the Troublemaker's Knight. The unattainable unique divine equipment. And at this moment Arcadia Benizabu. Because of the selection of Kashmir, a board-level meeting was held. Because of Jumao's one-hit kill ability. It can target all living things in Arcadia. Even NPCs other than the boss can be killed. At this moment, President Li Meian decided to activate the Intervention Authority. He immediately used Level 2 permissions. Log into Arcadia. He had just submitted the parameter adjustment proposal for the bamboo hair weapon to the system. The system prompts that the change is not approved. Li Meian was very puzzled. Alice, please give me an explanation. Hunchwang notification. Due to reaching the limit on the number of unreasonable privilege patch changes for the user. Hearing this, everyone shouted for Hutsui for a while. Previously released patch for maximizing poison damage. It's just to target Zirong, that old 6th. He also used the 3rd level permission to do it. Li Meiyan laughed sinisterly after seeing the proof. Everyone is calling for specialized objects. I need an explanation from you. At this moment, Zirong is holding a one-hit kill Zhu Mao in the game, wondering if AI would like to give it a try. He asked with a slight smirk. What? What should he do in Arcadia now? He was just equipping his game character with a bamboo feather. The beautiful chairwoman even gave Zirong her personal phone number. Any difficulties can be addressed to him. Just now, Zirong became the only survivor of the bamboo for war. Therefore, he can choose any piece of equipment from the eliminated contestants. However, he exploited a loophole in the rules. Bamboo feather that kills event props with one hit. Take it away handsomely as a reward. In a sense, bamboo hair can instantly kill all creatures in the game. Just as Zirong was thinking about how to use the bamboo bristles to make trouble, the game pop-up window prompts. The operator requests to summon you. Do you accept? A slyness flashed in Zirong's eyes. It seems like the officials have conspired on a strategy. He thought. I wonder what chips they will offer to exchange with me. The mailbox reminds you that you have been sent to a special space. Skills cannot be used here. And the beautiful elf player in front of me is the official Guofu Washerin. I'm sorry, Dex. Kazai Chua Bushiangting Naxi Shihua, Qingning Jijia Jingjingti. The girl's voice exuded a charming rhythm. Dekeshi, we are looking for you regarding the matter of Zhu Mao. The existence of Zhu Mao would pose a complete threat to Arcadia. Of course. You obtained the bamboo wool in a proper way. So we need your consent. Therefore, our founding father's official department put forward 3 plans. The first plan is to limit the number of times Zhu Mao can be used. The second is to limit the use of bamboo hair. Third is to recycle Zhu Mao using epic equipment instead of rewards. Of course, Li Meiyan clearly understands that negotiations require leverage. And it must be a bargaining chip that satisfies Zirong. He just clicks send. This is the appropriate compensation from the company for you. Take a look and then decide which plan to choose. Zirong was immediately impressed by the compensation, and Li Meiyan was gambling too. He didn't know if the given Zirong chip could really be used. After all, this kind of chip is generally not available to players. Just then, Li Meiyan, however, approached Zirong and said easily, if you are willing to agree to the conditions this time, our operations team promises never to target certain users in the future. The heart adds an improper patch. And this condition is my hidden trump card to convince you. Zirong understands instantly. You are an individual. What ability do you use to represent the company? Li Meiyan's eyes were piercing as she said. I will stake my name on Arcadia, Burfrith, and promise you. Zirong, the top player in countless games, how could he not know the Burfrith family of Arcadia? Are you President Li Meiyan, who created the myth at a young age? Such a person would actually come to see me alone. Li Meiyan's smile turned her head, catching everyone's attention. Thank you, Dex, and please take care of me in the future. Pop-up notification, agreement reached. Zhu Mao equipment changed to a one-time item. You have received 1 million credibility points as a reward. Grants you permanent exemption from Li Patch's dog. The most embarrassing thing for Zirong, however, was a secret note from the goddess Li Meiyan. Li Meiyan's office phone number is clearly written above. However, Zirong didn't know. The team in the dark has set their sights on him. Specifically, they were eyeing his Edidex. After the Zhu Mao war, Zirong's height is undoubtedly a focus of attention. Wherever players gather, they always talk about Zirong's gaming career. Whenever a character wearing a black robe appears, it actually attracted the attention of the players. He was afraid of this before. The anonymous official live stream ruined all my efforts. The next moment, Zirong consumed 1400 points of confidence, and activated the divine summoning card Kapalas. Just to escape this place of public opinion as quickly as possible. It was unexpected that Xiao Danjian Zirong was so generous. The master felt a sense of fear. He actually wants to summon the war god to help you escape. Spoiled by both gods and demons, a single question. Zirong felt a headache. Do you know what a private fan is? The camera pans to where Zirong just appeared. A mighty and majestic man smelled something that had not yet arrived. The monk asked the player passing by to look up, only to confirm the character's appearance. Then, she grinned and spoke harsh words. Everyone showed their faces. Otherwise, the blood sword will be used on the spot. It is obvious. They are crazy fans who have been chasing Zirong for several years. Their union's name is Datishi because Dekasi likes to wear red tights. Therefore, the union members gathered, men and women in groups of 10 or 11, they were all Zirong's illegitimate children. Life is not easy, sighed Zirong. Satan understood. Master, you have believers but are afraid of exposing yourself. Actually, Xiao Dan has a lot of experience with this. After I became the Demon Lord, a war of succession broke out. In the end, I killed them all. But this malicious challenge never ends. So I spent a long time making a mask. Pop-up notification, mythical equipment, deceiver mask. This mask can change based on its wearer's thoughts. Imitate anyone's face. And no one can peek at the true face under the mask. Zirong was very frightened. Are there mythic support items? Xiao Dan immediately opened a stall. If the owner needs it, I can lend it to you. Zirong saw through Satan's heart. So you're going to ask for a lion's share again. How much are you asking for? Confident? 10 won per xian yen, I can lend you to the grave. To be honest, Zijuan was tempted to use physical means to get rid of the stalker. Easier than any other way. The pop-up window prompts you that you have put on the mythical deceiver's mask. And the falsehood completely conceals your identity. The German Tips Trade Union was very disappointed because they couldn't find Zirong. Therefore, the president ordered that anyone who provided screenshots of Dex's appearance. A 10 yuan note. The female mage is confident that Dex won't escape our grasp. At that moment, a man with white hair and a black robe walked into the market of Renqingdingfei. Xiaodan, this mask of yours is really good. Surprisingly, no one recognized me. However, at this moment, Zirong was captivated by the news from the mainland. Recently, Arcadia has begun to expand its weapons market. A special piece of equipment, Alp's Tears, has been auctioned for as much as 1 billion yuan. So you mean the mask of a mythical deceiver on my face, wouldn't it be worth 1,000 pages if it were auctioned off? Result next second. Zirong walked in front of De Taisher, the head of the guild. The president narrowed his eyes slightly and sized him up. Too bad. This guy doesn't look like Dex. But why did I mistake him for Dex for a moment? Actually, Zirong was deliberately testing you, Xiao Dan. Your mask is really good. Zirong complained that the mask's only flaw was that the faces it created were not as handsome as his own. It's a pity. Xiao Dan pressed Ma Dai. Master, don't you even look at the equipment description? You can choose the character you want to disguise yourself as. And everyone you've met, if you want, can be your disguise. When it was confirmed that the transformation had no restrictions, Zirong's lips curled up slightly, as if her desire to stir things up couldn't be contained any longer. This mask is for completing the task I just updated, isn't it beautiful? Your new task is to plunge the world into great chaos. Therefore, it is necessary to continuously attract helpers with specific identifiers. Additional task, attract Kasha. The second target to attract is... The task only told Zirong he was at the mine. Cassius is definitely looking for merchants all over the map. Finding the lost necklace. And the mines? I really don't know Baron Hamiel, NPC. How many players have been exploited to be his miners and slaves? The mine controlled by NPC. The slaves who mine inside are all game players. Other students can play games during the holidays. He is on vacation but has to be a slave in the game. NPC lords are therefore making a killing. But he is still considering how to continue to make players work like cattle. The reason players are tricked by NPCs to mine. A male protagonist, Zirong, initially provided the squeezing plan. And his reward is to unconditionally take 10% of the mine's profits. However, the purpose of Zirong's return here. But not to collect palms from the NPC lord. But for the number 1 slave in the Bishan mine. He is the fastest female miner here. It is the blacksmith who is the most recognized player in the depths of the unknown. And he. This is the same target individual as instructed in the task of finding a helper by Zirong. Goblin Captain, please call slave number 1 over. The slave boy immediately rested when the officer told him to. Kalima lowered her head and said her workload. Zirong's mouth showed a wicked smile. Let's talk, kid. Seeing the boy's surprised face. Zirong's words will not fall. I am here to grant you freedom. After the boy's lengthy explanation, he was blinded by the excitement of sudden wealth. Inadvertently signed the NPC's indenture. It made him come to the game every day to be a slave. This little guy is really searching. But just then, the angel Michael suddenly noticed something unusual about the boy from the mine. He surprisingly has the scent of Guiji on him. Only those with absolute affinity to the fire element emit this scent. Perhaps this little guy has a natural talent for forging. Results, Zirong was high spirit. She scared and said, Boy, if I give you freedom, are you willing to go through fire and water for me? The boy agreed without any hesitation. I said, Kid, aren't you going to listen to the conditions? The boy stood still and knocked on the quarter 3 times. If you rescue me from this hell, I am willing to devote myself to you. The next second, the forbearance that bound his decision-making, the so-called Ningxing, shattered. Hunchwang prompt ID, I'm just unlucky, registered as a helper. The result waited for Zirong to open the boy's ability instructions. Suddenly, her pupils constricted. This kid is actually the first closed beta user of Arcadia. Who the hell are you? The boy's body trembled, his face full of astonishment. This is an account given to me by a very smart friend of mine. This is my secret. Even Big Brother can't tell. Zirong breathed a sigh of relief. It doesn't matter as long as you're not someone's son or grandson in the government. Now let's get to the point. I need to run a performance test on you. The test Zirong mentioned was killing monsters. This guy's attacks are completely chaotic. His combat ability is really terrible. And his production skills are also mediocre. Been playing since the beta and still this trash, makes no sense. Could it be a punishment for my hidden profession? At this moment, Michael appeared of his own accord. Master, you know that for a blacksmith, both strength and skill are essential. But you still need to be able to inject your soul into your forged creation. But I think these are not the most important qualities for a blacksmith. But when facing the intense heat and flames, he could still stand there and swing the heavy hammer. This means unwavering perseverance. Then, in the absence of will and belief, she swings the heavy hammer thousands of times. Only then can sufficiently outstanding equipment be forged. This boy can still persist in mining in such a harsh environment. I think his will is better than anyone else's. What puzzled Kazerong was how Xiala suddenly gave such a high rating to a player. Michael wanted to say something but hesitated because the relevant information involved too much. I cannot say. Zirong understood. Is it true that Xiala only needs enough credibility points to bear the karma for you? Then you can speak it out boldly. Therefore, the pop-up window prompts that you have paid 150,000 points of confidence. The secrets of the past will surface for you alone. In the mythical age, even more distant than the first Holy Devil War, this era has countless mysteries. They each have their own divinity and godhood. The god of war, the god of justice, the god of time, and so on. At that time, they, each holding their own aspirations, all had their own group of followers. But it could be because of a certain organization. That era, however, was completely forgotten by humanity. There is no trace. Zirong finally understood. In other words, in Arcadia, the Holy Order of Saint Ian, he eradicated all religious sects except those that believed in the heavenly realm. In short, and those gods who have lost their followers, finally becoming a false god whose name no one remembers. This allowed the celestial realm to possess the holy demon, who was worshipped by all the people. So my little brother is being watched by the oldest flame. It refers to the father of blacksmiths. It is also a symbol of Muspelheim's creator, who burns any demon in the celestial realm. The boy's follower was the legendary god Wuerkanisi. Zirong finally understood why the mission required him to take this young man under his wing. So he was meant to be trained into a legendary god general. And Arcadia's strongest blacksmith race is the dwarf race. But I don't know where they live. You need to know that the game Arcadia has not yet opened the dwarf race. This is the demon king Satan's own creation. My subordinates have seen them in the underground. However, it's a bit far from the other shore, it's under a desert. After careful deliberation, could it be that Satan was saying, one of the 5 forbidden zones, the Rumei Desert? It is said that no adventurer who entered has ever come out alive. Kazerong still resolutely took her little brother into the desert. However, the boy was given a set of garbage equipment by Zirong. Moved to tears, he silently vowed to himself, Big brother, I'm willing to follow you for the rest of my life. Zirong felt a little tipsy. After all, it was his fault that this guy was mined to the mine as a mine slave. You're welcome. Just consider it as a bonus for your work at the mine. 'Cause Zirong didn't know. To want to see across a vast desert, overcome countless dangers to find the dwarf race. It would be almost impossible to do. And what method would he come up with to improve the search efficiency? It is a forging hammer used by level 1 beginners. She was just slightly enhanced by the male lead. But he woke up as the first mythical equipment in the server. The key is that the hammer's durability is infinite, and it is completely immune to fire attributes. Zirong gave him to his companion, hoping he will become a god general of the Arcadia continent in the future. And the blacksmiths with the most profound memory often come from the dwarf race, so that his younger brother could become an apprentice. They must go to one of the 5 forbidden zones, Rumei da Shamo. So the two of them walked in the desert for 3 days and 3 nights. My little brother is sunburnt. Kazirong felt a little cool. It's because he used his trust points to activate the Divine General. She summoned the heavenly netherworld's Queen of Frost. And the Queen's passive Frozen Heart. It's like turning on the air conditioner in the host's body. Of course, the desert occasionally pops out a few desert poison crabs. Even though they are level 160 Lord monsters. Ding Zirong sang a spell. Raise your hand to complete the chilled poison crab king. Finally, the younger brother, lacking experience points, finished it off. However, the younger brother regarded killing monsters as mining. Finding a fulcrum is a piece of cake. Easily crush the ice into shards. Because of simplicity, it reduces too much. Although his level has been upgraded, his stamina has also been restored due to the upgrade. But she gained the humble title of Free Knight. And my younger brother's simplicity along the way made him go from his original level 24, soaring to level 72 in one go. But for the two of them to wander around the desert like headless flies is not a solution. Because he wanted to have an air conditioner in the desert. The divine state must be maintained continuously. But Satan had a new plan. Since you are looking for a dwarf, use the demon general. Find a dwarf ghost to guide you. This isn't more fragrant than angels. So the devil will activate God. Summon the Skullcrusher dwarf Tying. The terrifying magic instantly filled Zirong's limbs and body. The dwarf's vengeful spirit temporarily possesses the body of Zirong. Tying felt the desert's scorching heat, and recalled the glory of manipulating hellfire in the forge. Zirong was bewildered because she had escaped from the prison so miraculously. The elder quickly looked to see in which direction the dwarf kingdom was destroyed. Tying sensed something and her face turned pale with fright. He could feel the flames of hell that he once controlled. Right at Zirong's feet. Tying quickly pressed herself to the ground to listen for sounds. Yes, I'm sure there's Shaylee's dwarf rickshaw workshop down there. But just then, Zirong told her younger brother to step back and let you go. The next moment, a forging hammer thicker than a person appeared in Zirong's palm. It was also Tying's weapon before his death. But what I don't understand is why Zhejiang suddenly became a hammer. Zirong revealed a wicked smile. Of course, I want to smash through the desert. At the very next second the hammerhead hit the ground. Fine, close, parallel lines bend and overlap. Be aware that this hammer has a crushing effect. As the lines spread, a pit with a diameter of 20 meters suddenly collapsed. Zirong took her younger brother and jumped into the abyss. After falling 1,000 meters, he finally saw a glimmer of light. Zirong was also surprised that the dwarf kingdom was so magical. At the same time, Tyan felt that being able to see this city again was a fulfillment of a former wish. Ding Zirong only understood why the blacksmiths here were eliminated after he saw the living environment of the dwarves. Forging with riverside encirclement and shadow. Perhaps only the dwarves have the unique resources. Zirong pop-up prompts the discovery of an unknown area. Discovering the first person in the Shaylee workshop. Physical strength increased by 10 points. Obtain the craftsmanship attribute. The new task anticipates that the dwarves will form friendly relationships. They will share the Shaylee workshop with humans. When they become hostile, the Shaylee workshop will be closed off to humans. Because ever since Zirong appeared, the dwarves have been filled with hostility. It is well known that the dwarves despise other races, especially severely. But their equipment manufacturing technology is absolutely top-notch. You can tell from their living conditions in the underground city that these guys are definitely closed-minded. Otherwise, immediately treat Zirong and the other person as invaders. Facing the dwarves rushing towards her with hammers. Zirong, however, had a way to subdue them. That is to summon the dwarf Tying's crushing saw hammer. The reality of the hammer is instantaneous. The little dwarf who charged forward stopped abruptly. Zirong sneered. At this moment, he maximized the power of the Tying General God. Wuji is Tying. Are you all doing well without God Empress? Listening to this tone, it must be Tying Darren. All blacksmiths dropped their forging hammers. And she pressed her left hand hard against her right breast. This is the highest realm of the dwarf's expression realm. Zirong, mimicking the gourd, also put his hand on his chest. The pop-up window suggests building a trusting relationship with the dwarf. The Sally workshop is now open to you. This is a dwarf child asking Zirong if Tying Darren is watching us in heaven. Satan, seeing Zirong's questioning gaze, explained. This guy likes to use a hammer to smash his opponent's skull. Ask Xiaola whether Tianjia will take him in. Tying quietly told Zirong not to reveal his whereabouts. The child's expectations had to be met. Therefore, Zirong told a white lie. Tying the Great is living very happily in heaven. The boy suddenly changed his style and said, I want to join the Hammer Strike team too. He is as brave as breaking the damn angel's skull. Zirong's worldview was shattered on the spot. Maybe you'll meet in hell. Next came the child's father. Dai Zirong and his son visited the city of the dwarfs. Blacksmith shops are everywhere here. However, the dwarves in the city, almost all of them are master blacksmiths, engineering teachers and architects. This is my father's shop. Tai Shop is one of the 3 masters in the Shali workshop. My father is called Bailuan. He is one of the master blacksmiths in the city of dwarves. Zirong made his younger brother bow to the master. Master Byron pointed to a blacksmith apprentice nearby. You two have a duel. Under the cooking of burning flames, apprentice first completed the weapon forging. Magic level crude short sword. Although the rank is not high, the craftsmanship is excellent. The younger brother, who was forged immediately after, made a crude short sword that was the worst quality. It just looks like a weapon. Byron responded to Zyrong. Whether the young man can complete his training depends on his destiny. Being able to find a master to teach is already invaluable. So please, Byron-senpai. It is time for us to part ways for a while, brother. Seeing my younger brother's low spirits, I felt very reluctant to part. Zyrong asked him to give him the hammer. It's just a basic forging hammer. Have you always been using this hammer to mine and craft equipment? Zyrong tentatively injected credibility into the hammer. The next second, a pop-up window appeared. Strengthening equipment costs 350,000 credibility points. Crazy. Enhance a broken hammer. It's also impossible to need this much. You must be good to your elder brother for the rest of your life. Skill granting credibility activation. A burst of golden light shot up from the center of the hammer. A deep voice came from behind me at that moment. Boy, you still have many shortcomings. You are not yet worthy of making my name shine because of you. You can only make up for your shortcomings with endless effort, then overcome all difficulties like steel. Becoming a god-teaching religion that subverts the continent. Finally let me, this oldest flame, be recognized. Finally, a gift for you, little one. In the name of Vulcan, the blacksmith god, I grant you a stroke of fortune. At this moment, the ordinary forging hammer, at a speed visible to the naked eye, completed a mythical leap. The hammer's inscription is Wirkanusi's hammer. Durability is infinite, and it is not afraid of any fire. The key is that after equipping, the character's proficiency in any profession is translated. Only those who are recognized by Vulcanus can equip them. It is a mythical disguise mask. Even his game ID, he could perfectly disguise. Can even record the appearance of the people she sees. Then players can change their faces as they please. As a result, Zyrong tested the mask's ability. But by mistake, she got the Slime Queen. Evolved into a level 200 Slime Monarch. Just now. After strengthening the hammer of Vulcanus, Zyrong Bang's little brother came out. And told him. You need to diligently practice and work hard to improve your blacksmithing skills. I hope this mythical forging hammer won't be neglected. Little brother swears that if he becomes the strongest blacksmith, he will repay Zyrong's kindness. A small pop-up window appears at this time. Gaining complete trust from your object, open the assistant system. In the future, you can obtain the confidence created by your helpers. Next, Zyrong gained 3 assistants. Future Dual Mage Jelena. Cassius, the future Weapon Master. The future Blacksmith Master. I am Yunchi Cha. Zyrong doesn't know yet. In the future, the 3 of them will emerge in Arcadia as notorious players. But now Zyrong has something to confirm. That is the mask of a mythical deceiver. How far can the camouflage he possesses go? Originally because of Arcadia's revenge. The related live streams are diverse. The hottest channel is naturally in Arcadia's purgatory. However, the female streamer will challenge today. However, he teamed up with players over level 100 and conquered the slime's territory. For better live streaming results, she urgently needs to find a newbie to join the team. This way she can deliberately create her own image of rescuing low-level users. However, the disguised Zyrong suddenly appeared. The female streamer hurried toward her, and asked aloud, Brother, do you want to come and catch slimes together? I am a mage over level 100. He is a rank user at level 134. After Zyrong thought for a while, he showed a big white tooth and said, No problem, let's team up. Then he thought to himself, Are you an influencer? I happen to have a plan I'd like to try out. Shinma Shuangchong Henihua, Jurenni Waishim Yao Zaijali Lungfei Shijian? And these 2 guys invited you definitely for benefits. Zyrong did this to confirm the effectiveness of the deceiver's mask. Second, he will decide on his own. And in order to team up with him, the sorceress asked Zyrong for his account ID. Zyrong, however, said my nickname is Shihuan Kiakili Dalnao. The girl clicks search. It's actually possible to send a team invitation to this ID. Zyrong, whose face was hidden behind a mask, gave a sly smile. It seemed that the mask could even disguise her ID. If in the future we can make good use of this mask, then it will be almost risk-free to disrupt the situation. They soon arrived at the slime's territory. However, each of the 3 harbored ulterior motives. The warrior was thinking about how to carry the monster later. The anchor was thinking about how to use this battle to increase his value. Zero thought. How the slime little guys are still as cute as before. Because the battle began, the live broadcast barrage gradually became lively. Female streamer constantly chants magic to resist slimes. The warrior protected the 2 behind him. Zyrong was slacking off at the back of the line. The number of slimes in front of me suddenly increased. The irresistible slime rushed towards Zijiong. Seize the opportunity to improve your persona. The female streamer immediately rushed to Zirong and cast a guardian spell. Slime thus died. But the female streamer was then in a low health state. The soldier still stood at the front of the line. Because of the rare shield skill. Instantly knocked Slime unconscious. The barrage atmosphere immediately reached the effect the female streamer wanted. But as long as he is competent and has a good personality, a few more such attacks wouldn't hurt. Zirong was inspired by this. I think I could be a good live streamer. Take this opportunity to tag him. The slimes in this wave were just killed by the warrior and the female streamer. Seeing the female mage is still live streaming, Zirong immediately jumped to the viewfinder and asked him, "Why don't we challenge higher level monsters? For example, the demi-human settlement," and Zirong's pompous words. Immediately sprayed by the audience. Zirong wanted this effect. "Since you two are afraid to go, I will go alone and explore it myself." A pop-up message appeared, saying that Chocolate Knife had left the team. Finally, he said to the camera, "If you guys want to watch me solo the Knoll settlement, come to my live stream. My channel is called Destroyer's Daily Life." As soon as he said this, the live stream exploded. It wasn't because Zirong was famous. Because of the Destroyer's Daily Life. This account is really too mysterious. 2 videos gained 800,000 followers. Some people are quickly searching. The guild leader is actually live streaming. The female streamer stared at her live stream, but suddenly became speechless. Because the number of viewers in the live stream dropped from an original 5,000. At a speed visible to the naked eye. He instantly dropped to the level of a spirit person. The audience, without exception, was completely captivated by Zirong. Zirong was questioned as soon as she started the broadcast. "What does a level 52 player use to raid the demi-human settlement?" Zirong said that his friend would come to help him. The next second, Zirong was bestowed with the title of Slime Savior, and called out to the Slime Queen, "Friends, come over here." The next second, the Slime Queen led her people and charged towards Zirong, and held Zirong tightly in her arms. The audience in the live stream was instantly stunned. Mingming is just a level 52 newbie. She could actually stand on the Slime Queen's shoulders. "Alright friends, we're heading towards the half-beast settlement now." Viewers began to wonder. AI Chikiakali Dan Gao clearly is a warrior. Why can he control the slime army? This is the truth. All slimes in the territory started to attack the orcs. Because of their numerical advantage, most of the half-orc minions were killed by the slimes. At this moment, the 120-level half-orc legion commander emerged. Although the slime queen is bigger than her, she is more than 20 levels higher. He practiced his attack against the slime queen. The short Orcish legion commander was fearless in the face of danger. Activate the skill Savage Collision. The queen could not withstand it, and was knocked back 100 meters. Zirong, however, revealed a wicked smile. Consumed 3,000 points of credibility immediately. Strengthening the slime queen. Cold window tip. All attributes of slime queen increase by 30% within 5 minutes. The next second, Slime's corrosive slime. Stillness spread towards the half-orc legion commander. It was not that she had no time to avoid the corrosive mucus, but that the slime queen's mucus range was suddenly exposed. Han Chuang announces that the half-orc legion commander has been defeated, while the bullet screen was full of 666. Zirong asked the viewers in the live stream for some attention. Hope to bring you a visual feast next time. Because the slime queen's corrosive liquid covered the entire half-beast territory. The remaining orc forces are only 1%. The slime population in this territory has reached 99%. Han Chuang prompted that the slime race had occupied the orc tribe. The territory begins to be restructured. This created an environment suitable for Slime's Qixi festival. After transforming into a human, Slime Queen hugged Zirong tightly. It seemed she was thanking Zirong for the new home he had added for her. The pop-up message reads, "Slime Race Revival. Slime levels will be adjusted. Ability scores will increase significantly. A level 120 slime guard has appeared among the clansmen. Zirong is relieved now. It seems few people can catch slimes now. But the evolution is not over. The original level 100 Slime Queen. It has evolved into a brand new individual. The 200-level Slime Monarch has now arrived. Terror once again dominates the screen. Although Slime Queen's body became smaller. But the new skill, Jinshi, can cover a full 3 kilometers. Even level 100 players will be intimidated. This results in a 30% decrease in energy levels. Movement speed reduced by 50%. And Zirong was originally known as the Slime Savior. Because of the Slime Monarch's gratitude, she changed into a Slime Saint. And all the slimes will unconditionally obey Zirong's orders. The incident was later spread on the official forum. The official Chinese server also held an emergency meeting for this. But Zai Rong is legitimately utilizing the game mechanics. They cannot impose any sanctions either. Some curious top players came to Slime's second territory. But they were completely wiped out by the Slime army. Actually, even though level 120 Slimes are physically strong, they're not a threat. However, what is truly terrifying is that there are a total of 120,000 such Slimes. The originally weakest Slime now also has the ability to swallow the Arcadia continent. All game users started to pay attention to Slime. Nature also pays attention to those who can control it. The daily life of destroyers. Overnight, from the original 800,000 subscribers, it rose to 36 million in a month. Zai Rong never expected my reckless actions would bring me such unexpected wealth.